Oh, shit, I forgot my comments. Welcome back to the most unprofessional start to a live ever. There we go. I got my comments up so I can see all you people now. All you beautiful, beautiful people. Man, what a fucking day. Let me see. I wonder if I even need to bring this up. Maybe I will bring this up on another page. So we are doing a second live. I kind of wanted to do this on something else. Unfortunately, what I thought might happen did happen. Let me just pull this up real quick. So, as most of you know, shit with our little sovereign scam artist kiddos really hit the fan. And man, am I just sick of them. I am so fucking over this group of people. So last night, to somewhat try and catch anybody up to speed who possibly does not know what's going on, there's a group of these sovereign scam artists known as eClause. They like claim to audit the courts and do all this crazy shit. They give people horrible advice when it comes to any sort of legal issues, anything from children being removed by CPS to criminal stuff to bankruptcy stuff to you name it, they have an answer to it. And basically what they do is they buy like Black's Law dictionaries and shit and they read it to themselves. And the problem with this is there's nobody there to tell them if they are understanding what they're reading correctly. And so they just run with it. They interpret it how they think it is, which majority of the time it's fucking wrong, which has been seen by them actually trying to put this into practice with several people now. So back in March, Neely, who had lost custody of her children to her mother, ended up kidnapping her children. And the Secret Service even got involved to arrest Neely, which some of their conspiracy kiddos are like, that's because Secret Service protects the Treasury and blah, blah, blah. And, so, like, there's already this dark shift that's happening with this thing, and we'll get to that. But, basically, she's like eClause's biggest fan. The license plate on her car said eClause when she was pulled over. She was all about it, and it's very easy to tell that she was directly linked with eClause with her kidnapping charges, and then also another woman, Cynthia Absig, was tied in with eClause and Field McConnell and his whole little group, because at one point these other they're all really at the end of the day, they're not all sovereign, but they all share the same sovereign beliefs. Like Field McConnell wasn't exactly sovereign, but he's like a Q conspiracy, kind of just barf out whatever bullshit he needs to right at the moment. And there was this moment where they kind of merged. And so Field McConnell, eClause, and them can be tied back to the Cynthia Absig planning to kidnap her son from his foster family. Man, there's just it's such a hard thing to try and catch people up on quickly. But The overall moral of the story is this Neely Blanchard that was very deep into this eClause nonsense, that kidnapped her children in March and got arrested for that. Last night, is arrested right now. She was arrested in Georgia, and she is held for the murder of Chris Hallett, the other half of this eClause group, which there's Chris Hallett, and then there's Kirk Pendergrass, and Kirk also does this Kirk's Law Corner thing, which is the live that we're about to see. And then I got this information earlier, and really at this point, I'm so sick of all the people involved in this, and this shit's gone so serious that I say fuck all of them. There's a dead man, regardless of him being a good or bad man. There's a dead man. There's multiple kidnappings. This shit's really serious. I understand that people are grieving or whatever. The thing is I'm not the person to come to for any sympathy in this situation. I have absolutely no sympathy towards anybody involved in this situation because these same people did not show any sympathy towards the family. They were families, multiple, that they take advantage of, that are desperate and looking for help. So I can't, in all good faith, look at these complete and total fucking scumbags and say like, oh my God, this is so sad. We need to wait. Because I can't. They didn't care. And that goes for their whole little group. You know, Francesca Amato didn't care when she stole $5,000 from an elderly couple in another country, promising that she was gonna get their granddaughter home, or grandson, I think it was. Same goes with David Jose. Same goes with Kirk Pendergrass. I mean, Kirk and Chris Hallett have bailed on their own people. They've bailed on Timothy Homeseth. They've bailed on Field McConnell. You know, these people they have absolutely no loyalty to anybody. So first and foremost, if anybody even wants to come in the comments talking about sympathy or anything like that, I'm just going to tell you now, don't waste either of our time because I don't give a shit. There's going to be absolutely no sympathy for me on this. Especially after the live that Kirk just did, and that's all that this live is really going to be. I just want to point out some of the stuff that Kirk was saying in his live, which maybe I'll actually wait to show these screenshots of how I actually found out about this earlier today, because I do believe I was one of the first people to come out with this on my live earlier. That was when Marion County actually updated, confirmed it was Chris Hallett, confirmed it was Neely Blanchard. The main thing I can't stress enough is that this isn't cute. This isn't cute. This isn't funny. This is complete madness and insanity. You've got multiple people running around the country with warrants, trying to kidnap their fucking kids, running around thinking they know the law because these idiots are misinterpreting things they're reading in your first level law school books. Like, they're not. That's another thing with these damn Black's Laws books. Like that's what you're going to get your first fucking year of law school. And now somebody has been murdered because of this ridiculous shit. This isn't something to just tiptoe around. This isn't something to just pretend like it's all fun and games. It's not. It's not on any level. And then you got Kirk over there on his little memorial live, whatever the fuck that was, posting his fucking PayPal and his GoFundMe and shit. Like or not GoFundMe, his Cash App and his PayPal. Like, even, which that really shocked me. I was hoping maybe Kirk would go a different route from this and realize, like, holy shit, this is getting fucking deep. My little partner in crime here, my little scam artist buddy, is dead. Maybe I should back off. And instead, he goes on a live to spin more conspiracy nonsense and then go right back to requesting money from people. Like, I mean, I don't think any of these people, I don't think they have any loyalty to each other whatsoever on any level. And I mean, it's clear they don't. It's 100% clear they don't. How they treat each other, how they bounce back and forth, they fight with each other constantly, they're just throwing each other under the bus left and right. But just a pure, like, I don't know. I wanted to wait to see what Kirk was going to do. And it's very disappointing what he did. But, you know, let's look at what they're saying. And we're not going to watch this whole thing because me personally, I could never stand their lives. I think they're boring as shit. And it's just complete and total word salad. It's just garbage. I honestly, I get that they feed on desperate people. And again, I said this earlier today in my first live. My target goal is not their audience. My target goal, I'm not trying to get the people that fully believe their shit away from them. My hopes are that when somebody new that doesn't know about these people goes and starts looking these people up, hopefully doing some sort of research before they just take legal advice from these people, stumble upon something that we've done over on my pages and channels and shit. So that's what my thing is. Most of the people that follow them are too lost. They're just too deep into this sovereign shit. You're not going to get them to see it your way. They're going to have to basically find that on their own. The best that we can do, because actually as I was saying this live up, I was even just asked, why hasn't law enforcement stepped in and what can we do to stop them? And the thing is, I don't have an answer to either of those questions. Even though all this shit has gone on, I don't know an answer to those questions. At this point, like any time we talk about them on my lives, the only thing we can do is try and keep them from getting anybody else new. We can try and prevent them from finding new victims, but as far as stopping what they have going on, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, in all reality, with me like taking a break and not being solid and everything, Kirk's even got a larger audience than I do right now. Kirk and Chris both do, which is my own fault, and I'll fix that. I'm not worried about that. I mean, their audience still wasn't even a fraction of mine at my prime, so that part I'm not worried about. But that audience has stuck with them for a while, and most of them fully and truly believe this shit. It's easy. This sovereign law, this common law, these conspiracies that just like all of a sudden everything's going to change and they're going to win. It's easy. It is way easier to believe and believe in, actually, not even believe, but it's easier to believe in than to believe that you actually have to put in this work, and it's just easier. It's an easier way out, and it's very, very attractive to people that are in hard situations. I completely understand how they find their victims and why their victims go to them. It's because they're lost, they're desperate, and Kirk offers an easy answer, even though it's incorrect. But he can also make it sound good. If you know absolutely nothing about the law or anything, if you're completely overwhelmed by your court case, your CPS case, your bankruptcy, when Kirk starts just rattling off that fucking nonsense and just puts words together that he memorized, he can make it sound decent. If you know at all what's going on, you can tell that he's completely full of shit. It's a fake it till you make it. I mean, he looks like shit even right now. And it's not even right now. Like, I don't know what's been going on with him for a while. I've been meaning to get a little bit more on these two, because another thing, like was said earlier, most of us that have been following this little group before it did hit like any kind of mainstream, we knew this was coming. Like, we knew somebody was going to get hurt. We just didn't know who. And now that question has been answered. So no, I don't, and I really do not think, like, I don't think it's good that anybody died in this situation. I didn't want anybody to die from this situation. There's nothing to celebrate about this death. Like, if anything, Chris Hallett's death needs to be taken that much more serious to show how seriously detached from reality these beliefs and these people are. This is not good on any level. So it's not a celebration. It's not it's not anything like that. But like I said, as far as sympathy goes, I have absolutely no sympathy for Kirk or anybody that helped create this situation. Just plain and fucking simple. No sympathy for the devil, man. And that goes back to they show no sympathy when they're preying on these desperate families. Plain and simple. So there's no way, there's no way in fuck that while they're doing that shit, I'm going to turn around and pretend like they aren't. That's just not happening. So here's this shit, whatever this was.
The basics is that Neely's in custody. Whoops. And it's an unfortunate incident here, so we'll have to let people do their job, investigate, verify claims, because that's due process of law. And everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right? It's the way that's supposed to work. That's how due process of law works, right?
We're
Every
basically
man
at
is
the
innocent
beginning
until proven guilty. I'm glad to see so many people here and concerned. I've been watching the comments. I've been on the phone pretty much almost nonstop since 8 o'clock last night, my time. I did get about 3 or 4 hours of sleep, but that's about it. We're all in shock. This is definitely not something.
I think how that was just said was pretty well, actually. Unfortunate incident. His partner was just murdered by one of their clients. Like, yeah, this isn't just some unfortunate incident.
Something that we thought.
This is such a fucking weird stream, and what's been going on in the eClause group is just as weird. They're over there already talking about how, like, I've seen a few people talking in a few places that this is deep state shit, and like Neely didn't do it, and like it's some sort of conspiracy that these two were about to take down the government, and so they were taken out, and then Neely was like framed for it. Which, you know what, fuck it, let's just get this out of the way. How I found out about this stay at all was from Neely's mom. We need your help for what? You've been following Chris and Kirk and all of them for years, correct? You have more knowledge of the terrible things they have done. Neely says they were involved in bad things, but we don't have the proof or understand all of it like people that follow it do. I'm not 100% of everything they are. I'm not 100% of everything they are involved in. Neely probably has more info than I do. And then I put them in the wrong order. We can't get the information from Neely. I'm sure you will hear in the next few days. It'll start circulating the groups. Can you keep an eye out on them if anything comes out? Anything could help. We just hate that she was taken advantage of when she was vulnerable. They have done this to so many parents and made them believe false things. Oh, wait, I think I got you. Neely is still on board with them, but you're concerned. And she put, she's been arrested for murder, Meko. It's bad. She told us she found proof and has evidence of them being involved in child trafficking. All the documents she said she took are in her car that they have impounded. I put, oh no, what happened? She put, we don't know, but Chris is dead. What? Neely has been arrested for murder of Chris Hallett, but she didn't feel safe turning herself in Florida. Holy shit. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you to keep an eye out on the groups. Now, Sue there has already backed off from me. Like, she got pissed off because of my live earlier, which honestly, that's another one that I don't care, because I think that was something of enabling this situation. Neely's had issues for a very long time, and there's a lot of people to blame for her path, and Chris and Kirk are 100% some of those people. As far as the claims of her saying that Chris and Kirk are involved in child trafficking, I wouldn't know for sure that they're into like the how would I say this? The traditional sense of human trafficking. Now, by the technical terms, just what they were doing with Neely alone and having her kidnap her children, then passing them through people that they know and shit like that, by technical terms, is human trafficking. Field McConnell and all of them, like when it came to Cynthia Absig, and they were sending out armed men to go fucking hang out and guard Cynthia Absig to protect her while she was planning to kidnap her foster kid. Kidnap her kid from his foster family. There was a whole system of people set up there. Like they sent out armed people to sit with Cynthia at her house and shit. Her daughter reported that in the arrest affidavit. So technically you're talking about an infrastructure that had people to help get other people illegally from other states and whatnot. So right off the bat, from what we know publicly, that is human trafficking, like by the technical definition. Now, as far as them being involved in any sort of darker, more nefarious versions of that, I can't speak on that, obviously. I do think still that there's more to what they have going on. We do know there's investigations into these people. We know that fucking Kirk has a warrant. We know that just by their overall behavior and what they do to vulnerable parents on a daily basis shows that they are capable to do much darker. I mean, it's that simple. You don't take advantage of people like that in those situations. So that's like right off the bat. Neely turned herself in. She said she went to Georgia to turn herself in for killing Chris Hallett. This whole deep state thing and all this shit didn't happen. This was not a deep state fucking hit job against Chris Hallett, who's been filing nonsensical court documents with Kirk Pendergrass. That also shows, though, just how unstable these people are. How exactly you even... I don't even know how they come to that conclusion. Obviously, there's an investigation. Obviously, right now it's allegations, all of that good shit, allegedly. When I spoke to Marion County Sheriff's Department, because they called while I was on a live earlier today and verified that it was Chris, and they verified it was Neely. And then they told me that she was still in Georgia. They have not been able to speak to her yet. Mark Bone, I didn't judge him. Not good to judge the dead. Well, the bright side is that I was judging him while he was very much alive. And Kirk's warrant deal, I need to look a little bit more into that. I actually asked him on this live stream, and he wouldn't answer me. He muted my comments on this live. But yeah, I was 100% judging him for when he was alive. I would still be judging him when he was alive. I can't help the fact of what happened to him. And it does not change the fact of what these people were doing. That's what that is, plain and simple. It's not, I mean, when I die, there's going to be people that are sad and there's going to be people that celebrate. And people are welcome to do either. I could really give two shits because it turns out I won't really be that involved in it. But no matter what, the same situation when I die, facts are facts. So it's not like a death happened and now all of a sudden we forget that these guys have just been ripping off families. And now then this motherfucker. Like, no, none of this is okay. And that's a thing too. This isn't, like, nothing here is okay.
Was in the cards, right? But I want to remind people of the types of people that Chris was going after, that we were going after. This wasn't just Chris. Now, despite some recent issues that Chris and I might have had, But that's also maybe contributing to somebody else who was hanging out down there, talking in his ear. Yeah, we know about you.
Oh, actually, Fran's mad at me and says that I did see that earlier. Actually, here, I think, let me see. I think I can get it pulled up on the screen. Yeah, Fran's chimed in. Fran's pretty pissed. I think it's funny. Especially coming from Fran, with the fact that I had to talk to the elderly couple that she robbed for $5,000 that live in another country and try to explain to them why she would rob them. So Fran can for sure fuck off. If you guys notice, I'm done playing around with this group. This is 100% everything that we were worried about happening, coming to fruition. Let me see, I might have to reopen that. I'm not sure where this came from. Oh, I just... Yeah, okay. Never mind. Sorry, guys. I'm getting my shit together over here. Can I just please say to everyone on this thread, out of respect for Chris, yes, it is true. I have it from the police department and people who know him, but please don't follow MekoHaze, Hayes. He's a sicko. How do you capitalize off a murder of a man and call him a sovereign? He was not a sovereign or sovereign citizen. He was teaching true and real law. He makes sacrifices for families and children, all while he suffered in his own life, and now his life is taken from him, and we need to give him all the respect in the world. Please block MekoHaze. He is a piece of garbage, and who does a live feed after someone's been murdered just because you want numbers. That's despicable. And that's an argument they've used forever. I can promise you guys, I'm not going to be retiring off the views from today's live or this live. In fact, if you look through my channel and you look through my Facebook pages, it has always been that this small group of sovereign citizens are my lowest viewed videos. They take the most work. They are the biggest pain in the ass. They are the biggest headache to make sense of. And they literally perform the poorest because not a lot of people know who these people are. This is not great things to cover if you're trying to build a Facebook channel or a Facebook page or a YouTube channel. It's just not. This is not a big subject. People just don't know who these people are. Not to mention, my YouTube's demonetized, so I have no clue where I'm cashing in on this capital. There's a donation link if you guys want to support the lives. That's up in the description. Aside from that, like there's nothing coming from this. In all actuality, still talking about these people is, honest to God, more of a waste of time than anything. Like 100% more of a waste of time than anything. Like right now, if I really wanted to chase views, I would have stuck with the Stand With Sophie story. My first video on that had around 180,000 views, and I backed off because I didn't want to do what I saw a few other channels doing. So, I mean, yeah. Now, as far as talking about right after a murder, yes. And that's because we've been talking about these people for going on 2 years. So after one of these scam artist clients murders one of them, yes, we're going to talk about it. Because this was exactly what we have been warning about. Like 100% to a T, this is what we have been warning about. That somebody was going to get fucking hurt because of these lunatics. So, yeah, the Fran thing, Fran's pissed. Fran can be pissed. Fran has like 4 people on her Facebook page to be pissed off too. So, whatever she has to say, again, I find it funny because I'm the one that had to talk to the elderly grandparents that she ripped off for $5,000, which she also said she was going to pay back. I don't think that happened. But yeah, that's, that wasn't, she wasn't being all that kind when she was thinking about taking $5,000 from those people and promising them that they'd get her grandchildren home. Well, actually, the mom, because it all went through the mom that was in California. So, I mean, yeah. And I do like the sovereign stuff. I really do. I want to stick with the sovereign stuff, but even on the sovereign stuff, there's like bigger sovereign channels and shit that I could go after if I was just chasing views. We've just been with this group for a while, and honestly, I think they're scummy and dangerous. And this is why I think they're dangerous. We've got 2 kidnappings this year and a fucking murder. Like, this group is everything that we have said it was going to be for the last 2 years. This group is dangerous. It's just, it's 100% unbelievable. A Venmo? No, I don't have a Venmo, actually. I'm still, in all actuality, I'm still really shitty at, like, selling myself and shit, I guess you could say. So I haven't done that. I don't even think I've touched our Patreon and shit. But I've also been super not on my game these last few months, which I've been saying this my last couple lives. I'm trying to fix that. Like, I'm trying to get more back on the ball and a bit more up to the more aggressive me that many of you met and began following years ago. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, the answers of all this, of why we've stuck with this group and all this shit, is because of this right here. There's still, like, Cynthia Absig, she's still got her charges and everything. It's just crazy. But yeah,
But you know how the deep state doesn't like to be exposed? They don't like to be taken down, dismantled. Remember, he's got the case going there with against Florida Department of Revenue.
This is 100% why I say fuck Kirk Pendergrass. He knows damn well that the deep state didn't come kill his fucking partner, and he goes on live and feeds these fucking people that are believing this shit all of this. Like, this is not okay. This is not okay at all.
And they tried to get it dismissed. They tried to say no, we're suing Chris. No, that's what the judicial mandate came from, right? See, mandates are from the judicial branch to a lower court. They're not supposed to be a mandate to wear a mask. Mandates are from the judicial branch. And it was to instruct the lower court that the case style is and will be Christopher Hallett versus the Florida Department of Revenue for extorting money, embezzlement.
I appreciate that, Gina.
And that ain't the only ones, right? What's our going saying? You going after the bar, bro? Yeah. I don't know how many people are aware of true history here and the last people that went after the bar. This is a repeat of history. War of 1812, when they tried to kick the bar out of our nation called America here, with the original Article the 13th, not amendments. They are articles in addition to. That should tell you something right now, that something's been fundamentally altered right there. That Constitution that we most commonly refer to and look at today, that's not the lawful Constitution. It's a fraud. And I'm not even sure that even most of what's in that Constitution is legitimate and real and the proper words in that Constitution. But I'm pretty sure the gist of it's about the same, but just need to verify, right? So definitely want to say some prayers for Chris, his family, his son and his daughter.
Right after pushing a conspiracy that the deep state killed him, he wants to say some prayers, and after twisting the War of 1812 and talking about his quote-unquote true history, he wants to send some prayers. I don't even know.
My condolences to you, Chris and his family and his kids. You know, one thing that we've pretty much said all along is that Chris and I have been studying and learning and teaching at the same time. We have never come out here and said that we know everything and then we know exactly what to do. You know, we've tried the throwing things against the wall and see what sticks and what works and what doesn't. We're dealing with corruption, and a deep, deep amount of corruption. And if you're not awake yet today with what's been going on with Trump, the Trump administration, worldwide, the Vatican, London, many other countries and nations, yeah, I see you trolls on here. Especially you over there involved in that child pedophilia crap. We're coming for you, people.
This is a fucking madman. This is 100% a fucking madman. This isn't just the loss of somebody. This is the accumulation of believing your own bullshit for far too long.
Make no mistake. Bunch of you child pedophile people, your time is up. We're coming for you. Trump called it out a long time ago. He wants to rid you from this planet. Your days are numbered. You can sit out there and talk all the crap you want. It ain't gonna save you. And your lifeline, it ain't there no more. It's been severed. I can promise you that. And I think you already know that.
We are like 4 minutes into talking the day after, not even 24 hours after his little partner was killed. And so far, we have discussed the deep state killed his partner, and now we are touching on the edge of the fringe QAnon. Everybody is pedophiles, and Trump is sent from God to save them. Conspiracy. Which, might I add, that conspiracy already has added to some very serious things, such as Jessica Prim driving across the country, leaving her children at home, armed with knives, talking about killing Vice President Pence, and kidnapping a child, and driving to the U.S., the USNS Mercy, to prove that they were not helping with COVID patients. They were actually taking children that were being rescued from these tunnels, which is a conspiracy that came from their buddy Timothy Homeseth that they left high and dry, who now has a warrant after these guys told him it'd be a great idea not to show up for fucking court. You had the train conductor, I forget his name, but he was a normal guy, it seemed like. He had a career, and he derailed his train to try and run it into one of the ships to bring attention to the children that were being put on the Mercy, that were being rescued from these tunnels. There has been some major shit that has gone on in this country that is directly related to these guys and their bullshit. Like, this is not, like, I know we laugh at times because it's so fucking crazy, but this is not funny. This is really getting fucking serious, and they are pumping people full of this shit, and now they're using this, what should be a tragedy, to continue pumping it. Like, that's where I say there's no fucking loyalty in this whole crowd. This is a dangerous group of people. They are, I believe at this point, they are even more dangerous than they used to be. And not to mention, we can even touch on the third conspiracy, which has to do with the fact that Trump lost the election. This guy's still going off that Trump is going to take down all the pedophiles, when, I mean, it is what it is. You can believe whatever you want, but you can't disagree with the fact that the courts have been responding. Like, the Trump campaign's arguments are falling apart in court. This is the same Trump campaign that, when they were in Pennsylvania saying that there was no observers in the room, the attorney responded to Judge Diamond, which was actually put in power by Bush, a Republican judge, who he was told that there was a non-zero number of people, Republican watchers, in the room. Like, this is not good. Darlene went, we are nowhere near dangerous. You are nowhere near dangerous. This group is nowhere near dangerous, but there's been how many arrests for kidnapping this year related to this group? And how many murders related to this group, Darlene? Just out of curiosity. And when Jessica Prim was arrested for driving to New York with a bunch of knives on her, to saying she was going to kill the vice president, that wasn't dangerous, right? And her children being left at home, that wasn't dangerous at all. When that train conductor derailed his fucking train to go try and hit a Navy ship, that wasn't dangerous, right, Darlene? Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not playing with you kids no more.
We the people are waking up. The world child pedophilia ring, you're done. You're being exposed. And it is worldwide.
No, Darlene, I'm not saying each of you, each and every individual. I'm saying that the beliefs that are being pushed by you, the easily debunked beliefs that are being pushed throughout these groups, and the people they are choosing to push them upon, is obviously dangerous. There are people that are not able to decipher what is real and what is fake of what they're being told. Like, that's all there is to it. I wish it wasn't that way. But it is. There are people that just 100% do not separate the two. Darlene, or Laurel, should I say, you are one of the only people that I actually will not allow to debate, because I understand that all you want is attention, and I think you're a horrible, horrible person. Like, all around a horrible person. So, like, you are the one person. If Kirk hops on this right now and wants to hop on, I will send him a link right now to come on. I already told him in the comments on his live he could come on this tonight. You're like the one person that will never, ever, ever, ever get to step foot on this platform. You're lucky I'm allowing you in the comments right now, because I could block you at any moment. Anybody else, though, like, honest to God, if any of Kirk's buddies are in here, you want to tag him and tell him to come on this live, all I got to do is send him a link. I can have him on here in a minute. So that's completely up to him.
Roman Catholic Church, the Crown Temple Bar, your satanic rituals. You're being exposed and you're being hunted, like Trump said. The hunted become the hunters. We're coming for you now. All of you. All of you that are involved in serious human rights violations, human trafficking, and corruption. Things are about to go down as we speak right now.
No, they're not.
I'm aware that my Idaho legislature is being called in prior to the legislative session to discuss government reorganization. Why would we be reorganizing government?
Which, by the way, because people always do show the Trump and Obama trafficking arrests, and they claim Trump did way more arrests than Obama. They actually don't understand what they're looking at, and they don't understand that there's also different ways that they're filing those. Like with the Obama administration, it was split different. You have to go to the FBI as well. Most of the time they leave out those FBI numbers that were part of the trafficking arrests. Another thing with Trump is that you have this intense thing going on the border where even coyotes helping people across is considered a human trafficking. They don't understand that they don't understand human trafficking does not mean just sex trafficking. 50%, half of the trafficking in the world has nothing to do with sex. It's work trafficking and shit like that. During the Super Bowl, one of the bigger concerns is not just the sex trafficking going on, it's the illegal labor. It's human trafficking does not just mean sex trafficking. So people look at these numbers and they're confused by them because they don't understand what the fuck they're looking at. And they're just throwing everything and thinking everything is a sex trafficking thing. It's not. It 100% is not. So if you actually look, and if you take Obama's numbers, I believe it's ICE and FBI, there might be a third agency if you want to actually compare the numbers, but there's more than one agency you need to look at Obama's, and then the numbers Trump has been releasing, I believe, since at least 2018. You can find them all in one spot. But that is one big part with this confusion on Trump. Trump's actually put some laws into power that made shit a lot harder for trafficking victims once they get arrested and shit, because the reality is most of the time victims of trafficking are treated as criminals. That's why you have a lot of trafficking victims that don't want to come forward, that are scared to be arrested. They're scared of police because they know they're going to be treated as if they were a criminal. So now this, all of this stuff that they're claiming is easily debunked, 100% easily debunked. Now, am I saying I agree with the current system? No, not at all. But right now, whether you like it or not, this is the system that's at play. This country is nowhere near the point of being ready for any sort of revolutionary war, anything like that. It's not. Kirk teaches that President Trump's executive orders on trafficking, Part B, the money side, not sex. Okay, well, Kirk is right now on this live that we're watching talking about Trump taking down all the pedophiles and pedophiles hiding. Kirk right now is repeating fringe right QAnon conspiracy nonsense. That's what he's talking about right now. That is 100% what he's talking about. Yeah, not to mention, remember, these guys all think that they work for the Trump administration. At one point in time, all of them have claimed that they're part of this Pentagon pedophile task force, which does not exist. For the love of fuck, it does not exist. And Kirk has even went as far as to say that he never did. He's flip-flopped back and forth on them. I can tell you, I spoke to the Pentagon. I spoke to DHS MekoHaze, and it doesn't exist. Like Timothy Homeseth made that shit up. Timothy and Field and David Straight. It's made up. It's fake. It's fictional. That's why there's no proof. That's why there's been 60,000 children or whatever crazy shit they claim rescued from tunnels, and there's no evidence. Which you have to think about with something like that, and like the sort of pedophile raid that Kirk's talking about. The size of an operation of that is impossible to keep secret. First off, just the number of soldiers going into these underground tunnels to go rescue these children they're going to be that's what was the number? At one point, I think in like one run, they tried to claim there's like 20,000 kids rescued or some shit. For argument's sake, let's just go with 5,000 children. Let's say 5,000 children were rescued from a tunnel underneath one of our cities. So, how many soldiers do you think that would take to get 5,000 horribly malnourished? Because you got to remember, the description of these children, they're in horrible shape. They've been trafficked, they're malnourished, they're beaten, they're doing experiments on them. So how many soldiers do you think it would take to get 5,000 children out of these tunnels? We have to think about transporting the children one at a time. They would probably need medical stretchers, and then obviously one or two people at least to pick them up, put them on there. They're going to have to make sure that the area is secure, not to mention the fighting that's going to go on before that. So you got like your actual soldiers that need to go in and kill the traffickers first. So off a small guess, for them to like protect the medics involved with this military operation and taking the children out, you're talking easily 5 soldiers per kid to secure the area, get the children on the stretchers, get them out of the tunnels, and get back down there to get the next kid. And you're talking about that with 5,000 kids. That would be... you're talking like 25,000 soldiers. Which, where are they hiding them? How are people in these cities not seeing this? No, Mark, you didn't see anything about all these children being rescued from tunnels underneath the country. Like, not on this, I mean, you didn't. But yeah, you're talking easily 20, 25,000, an influx into an area of 20 to 25,000 military medical people. So first you got to think just rationally. Out of 20 to 25,000 people, not one person pulled out a cell phone and took a picture or anything of the most horrifying things they'd ever seen in their life. In LA, they did report their... Okay. In LA, they did report on some. That's great. That's not... I mean, people... There are tunnels that go, like, underneath from Mexico and shit. There are trafficking tunnels. There's not an intricate tunnel system. I believe in LA, they actually even have, like, a... There was, like, a documentary. There's, like, a little, like, village of tunnel people in LA and shit. But all that aside, there's not this ultra war going on where thousands of children are being taken out of these tunnels. So back to it, out of 20,000, let's go with 20,000 soldiers. Let's even go low. Not one person took a picture, and not one person in that area noticed there was 20,000 soldiers there. Next part, where did these kids go? Did nobody notice 5,000 super malnourished trafficked children go to get the medical attention anywhere? Did the hospitals not take them? Are there secret tunnels, secret hospitals in these tunnels where they take the children to heal them after they're rescued? And then where are these families? And where are these children going once they're rescued? Like, there's no evidence of any of that happening anywhere close to the sort of level that these guys were all claiming and that these buddies were claiming. Um, I mean, that is what it is. It's okay, Mark. I get it. There's tunnels everywhere, Mark. I gotcha. Um, and then from those tunnels everywhere, they just are magically back into society and they're fine and nobody talks about them or treats them or anything. Gotcha. So, no, Karen, I feel you. Like I said, it's hard to not laugh at some of this shit because of how absurd it fucking is. It is really hard to not laugh at some of this because you can't help but think, how the hell are you believing this? Okay. Gotcha, Mark. You owned a truck company. And yes, they are real. Okay. Good Lord. Laurel, there's nothing to debate with you. You're a monster of a human being. Like, there's nothing to debate with you. You are a lonely woman, and what? I forget what part of California you're in, but you're a lonely woman in your little condo who makes all these weird fake accounts and then goes around and says horrible things about people, and then you say that you're the victim when people tell you you're a terrible person. So there's absolutely nothing for us to debate, Laurel. You should probably go take up, yeah, that's what it is, Temecula. That's right. Thank you, Lauren. There's nothing for us to debate. I'm not going to gain anything from that. That would be a massive waste of time. That's why I block you on all of my accounts. Like, you're only seeing this right now because I'm on the page and I'm not through my account. I'm through my software. That's the only reason why I can see your comments right now. So no, I'm good. I'm good, Laurel. You just do you. I think you should take up like crocheting or some shit like that.
Well, for those of you that have been paying attention, either just watching the executive orders and watching what Trump says, or watching us right here as I've put it out myself. It's even in one of my educational series. I laid this stuff all out a long time ago. I have a pretty good idea what's happening, what's been going on, and why. Because I've been down the rabbit holes. I've studied the history of law. And this is going to be a lot more epic than 1776. I can guarantee you that. Them families are going down. All of them.
Oh, there's CPS News Network in the comments. You scumbags. Remember when you fuckers blocked me from being able to comment on your shit? I'm glad you can come over and try and push your nonsense over on my channel. Yeah, fuck you guys.
International banking cartel. The drug cartel, such as the pharmaceutical industry. Trump already said that. He was going after the drug dealers. And he specifically said the pharmaceutical industry. He wasn't talking about cocaine and heroin on the streets. He's talking about the pharmaceutical industry as being the real drug dealers.
It's funny on that note. I just heard him say that. That cracked me up. I believe this would be it. Let me see. I just read this not that long ago, so I gotta make sure I found the right thing. So Purdue, which I don't know if any of you guys nerded out on the Purdue case with OxyContin and being a big part of what started the opiate crisis in America. But what they did was really fucked up. Like, it's actually, if you're into that sort of thing, you like court transcripts, it's an interesting one to read, because just how they were targeting their audiences, how they were paying the doctors, the elderly that they were targeting. They were hiding the fact of respiratory issues, people falling. They were encouraging higher doses for withdrawals and detox. It's pretty fascinating to read, honestly. Those Purdue papers are all fucked up. But Purdue, huge. They're OxyContin. They started that. This was just recently. This is October 21st. That because they were being sued for their role in starting the opiate. Which it's really funny because Kirk just said Trump is targeting the pharmaceutical companies and taking them down. Part of their settlement that is very concerning for a lot of people. The controversial settlement, valued at more than $8.3 billion, would restructure Purdue Pharma, which entered bankruptcy last year. Going forward, the company would operate as a public trust under government control, continuing to manufacture opioid medications. The basic summary of what happened with this whole deal is that the government would be taking over control of putting out these opiates to the country. And basically, the Purdue family was able to save their own ass. Like, the company may be going down, all that good shit, but they were able to do a whole bunch of questionable financial transfers, bankruptcies, and shit like that, and basically protect themselves while, like, the government tries to step in to take over the opioid manufacturing. So this whole Trump stepped up to take down the pharmaceutical companies. Under his watch, our government is now trying to take control. Like, they just basically pulled a mob move of, no, you just got this neighborhood addicted to crack. We're now going to take over your trap house, and we are selling the crack now. And you can leave with this much money. That, like, I'm telling you, it's like everything these guys say it's just bullshit, and it's very easy to debunk at least 90% of what these guys say. Like, the government is not operating on some higher moral ground with Trump now, and all of a sudden the people matter. It didn't happen that way. Our whole government's fucked up. But with that Purdue thing, that was a bad deal. That's actually kind of terrifying that the government wants to step in and start being in on the opioid manufacturing. So, but again, like, and anybody into the, like, court doc nerdy shit, I'm telling you, read those Purdue papers. They're long. There's a lot of them. I still haven't even finished all of them, but it's an interesting read. It's very interesting how they started basically the opiate crisis here, and just the different tactics, the different manipulation, the withholding of information, the bribery, the targeted people. Veterans were a huge target of them. Like, the Purdue was a very fucked up company.
So for those of you trolls out there that want to try and call us a bunch of frauds and they were scheming people and nice try. None of you even frickin' read the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States of America, or the Bill of Rights. Some of you don't even know basic fucking math. You couldn't fight yourself out of a wet paper sack.
This is such a weird live.
Yeah. You see, things have been put in place for us to report these bad actors, and I finally figured it out. It's called reading, studying. I don't have to go to school to learn anything. Never spent a day one in school for auto mechanics. Finished carpentry, construction. The only thing I went to school for in construction was electrician because they require you to go to school. But see,
The only thing I didn't do was the thing where I actually had to go and learn under someone. Which again, I'll still say this, man. I think Kirk would have made a good lawyer if he would have went to law school and shit. If he would have taken the time to actually learn this shit, I don't think he would be in this situation. If he would have went this the right way, I still do think that he could have made a good lawyer just because he's really good at he's good at memorizing this shit. He's good at spitting it all back out. I'm not going to lie about that. It's nonsense because he doesn't have anybody over him telling him if his interpretation is correct or not. But just the fact that his brain does sponge up all this stuff and then he can just diarrhea it out on command. I mean, I do think that if he actually took this serious and went to court and went to law school and didn't go down this path, he probably could have been a good attorney. But obviously, at this point in life, we are way past that option, most likely ever coming to reality.
we're supposed to be the sole arbiters of the law. And if all political power is inherent in the people, we're supposed to know the law, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. And we don't have to be a member of any club called the Bar Association to practice law, because you ain't practicing nothing. Practice standing up. Practice walking. Practice going to the bathroom. No, you either do something or you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
They ain't
Ted
practicing
Bundy.
medicine either, because that shit ain't medicine. That's alchemy. Playing around with different types of chemicals. Making concoctions that's not natural. Destroying people's lives.
Really weird that he says that with this sort of lives that this whole group have helped to destroy, but, you know, whatever.
Right? Can you point to that emolument and grunt for me?
This is a super weird live. That's why, like, in all honesty, I started to pull up, like, some of Kirk's past court stuff and shit like that while this live was still going on. But then I just figured, fuck it, we're just going to play this live because it's such an odd live. Like, I don't know. I do still find it very disturbing that right off the bat he hopped right in with pushing conspiracies on the people. Like, it's I don't know.
How many people have heard of MK Ultra? That's something I actually didn't really know anything about. Remember that, MekoHaze? And I admitted that. Yeah, that was back then, huh? When I schooled the crap out of you, you little punk. You're a liar. Big time. You're just as bad as the regular fake news. You're just as fake as the real fake news. You and your trolls that are hanging out here on YouTube right now. Levi Page. Yeah, you guys ain't nothing. You don't know nothing about the law. You've never read it. And trying to call us a fraud? You can't even comprehend 90% of what we talk about.
Because it's nonsense. Because it's 100% nonsense.
That's all right. We don't need your approval to do what we've been doing. And we don't We don't need your graces that, oh gosh, that's real, a bunch of sovereign citizens. Dude, I've already destroyed that argument in court and in the record.
I don't know where he
And I
destroyed
want to remind
that.
people that
I have,
Chris and
I have no clue where he destroyed that in court or anywhere. I have no clue.
I haven't been here to help people bring their kids home. I started out in the family law realm of things.
I remember the television.
Things. But one thing I found in this family law movement was there was no movement. Because there's so much infighting. And then I realized, well, they're all traumatized, have been traumatized, and everybody's got the same issues, right? And this is worldwide. And it's due to lack of education, lack of knowledge. You don't have this knowledge, you don't have any power. We've never said that we're here to help you bring your kids home. I stepped away from the whole family law stuff because of that.
They literally said for a long time they would help get your kids home. Like, that was one of the founding things of, like, all of this group. It's like that was like like one of the biggest things with all these different people is that they would get your kids home and shit. I
Too many people traumatized, and I get it that you want to learn, you want to do something, but nobody wants to take the time to learn, to read. I mean, if you're going to learn mathematics, you got to learn the basics first, right? You can't run out there and start doing trigonometry, calculus, algebra. You got to start at the root. You got to learn the fundamental principles of mathematics that dictate the correct answer every time, regardless of your personal feelings. And that anything that comes in conflict with those principles of law.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Kirk should be scared of what might be found in Hallett's house, etc. I mean, yeah, Neely's in custody and police are in Hallett's house, so man, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, actually, I do agree with that, Moderate. I thought it was funny when Agent 19 made Kirk eat his own dick on a live stream. That was an epic loss of an argument. Yeah, man. Agent 19 100% spanked Kirk's ass way harder than I did. I more just asked him basic questions that he refused to answer and let him yell. Agent 19, I think that's a good way that you put it, Moderate. Agent 19 made Kirk eat his dick. Like, put it in a microwave, handed him a fork and a knife, and made him cut it into little pieces and eat his dick on Facebook Live. That was a pretty good one.
Is fraud and is void for any effect. And until you learn those fundamental principles of law, you're never going to get anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels, playing around in their barcode shit made up. It's what they want. They want to make it complicated, and it's really not that complicated. Common law is pretty simple. It really is. And it's part of what I've recently discovered. And yes, I've had some success. That formal written complaint that was written that got 2 public servants arrested, yeah, that happened.
Where?
Also another case where a mother had you want to see a child being brought home? 2 days after filing the paperwork, the case was completely vacated and the mother was told to go pick up her daughter.
He literally just said they do not bring children home and never said that they do bring children home. And then not even 5 minutes later, brought up a case where he got a child home. Like, it's this sort of nonsense. The completely contradicting yourself. And that's not just a thing that happens today. These guys contradict themselves for the close to 2 years that we've been following them. So that doesn't work right there. You can't go from, I never said I bring children home, blah, blah, to, hey, here's an example where I bring children home. Like, that doesn't work.
So don't sit there, trolls out there, and try and pretend like this doesn't work. And it does. That's why some people are still here. And like I've always said, those of sound mind possessing logic and reason shall come to a reasonable conclusion based in reality, or they're insane. And in our civilized society, we shun the insane. So, those of you that have sound mind can tell the difference. And remember, we're just about education here. We show...
Oh, Mark, they shut down a whole county family law system in Texas? What county was that? I imagine it's still shut down, right? Because I actually remember what you're talking about there, too. And that's not what happened. Which, damn it. Yeah, Alexis kind of ruined it there. But please, Mark, feel free to tell me what county in Texas that they shut down a family law. Yes, they did. Courts were moved to another county. Do you think the courts were moved because of Kirk and Chris? Like, is that really what you're trying to... Surely you can post one link in the comments there, Mark, that shows this great victory, because doing something such as closing down, like these two people having a entire county close their family court system would surely at least have gotten a local media article, wouldn't it? Oh, John Gentry did that. Actually, those are over on YouTube, because there's YouTube comments too. I see all of you guys. Which, and I think I have links up in the description to bounce back and forth from YouTube to Facebook if you guys want. Just an FYI. But I'll go ahead and keep on playing this. Mark, if you want to find like any sort of article that shows these guys were responsible for shutting down an entire county family law system, I'll just feel free to drop it whenever.
The letter of the law. Always. There's never once that we just shoot from the hip and make stuff up.
Oh, I know there's many.
Yeah, you go right ahead, MekoHaze. You go ahead and be that piece of shit that you are. You couldn't hold 1 minute in court against me.
Right.
And you know I schooled the crap out of you.
Right.
And I know more than I knew then. Trust me.
You're definitely more full of shit than you were then.
It's go time, folks. I figured it out. And it's pretty simple. You file these formal written complaints. It's quite amazing how the rules of the common law say that. And then when I implement it and try it, it actually works. You think you...
Which, Kirk, because I believe on this live you're talking about you're watching all this shit on social media. Again, you're welcome to join this live. If you're not on this live, or if this live like ends whenever you sit through it so that you can get all raged out at me again, you can 100% message me. You would have to unblock me, because you got to remember, out of this situation, only one of us blocked the other one. And it is you, babe, that blocked me. So you would have to unblock me, and then you message me, and I will be more than happy to shoot you a link. I use vMix, so you can 100%. All you need is internet connection, preferably headphones, so that there's no echo, and you're 100% good to go. We can do that at any point of time, and you can school me. You can 100% school me. I have, as you can see right here on this live, I can bring up anything that you want and show it in the background. I can do that even with both of us on here. I can set it up so that I can show any documents that you want. I can 100% anything that you're claiming. You can bring your evidence and I can put it right there on the screen behind me, or else everybody is going to see me tell you that I won't, which I'm not going to do that. Either way, that'd be a win-win for you if you can back up your claims, or if I refuse to show it, which I wouldn't. So there's really no reason that you shouldn't. So again, you unblock me, shoot me a message. God damn it, CJ. I'll be sure to apply for that position, and I'm gonna put you as my reference, CJ. God damn it.
You're so smart out there. Why don't you tell us about how much of the law you've read, how much you've studied, how much you know? You don't know anything. You're a scam.
I am. Yep.
You're the fraud.
Yep.
You don't teach anybody anything. You don't provide any education.
I'm not claiming to. I'm not trying to teach people fake law. Nowhere ever in my existence have I ever wanted to teach people fake law. Normally what I do is I'll bring something up right on the screen. I'll either give you visual reference along with my opinion on what's going on, or I'll just report to you what all facts I can gather. And I mean, that's what I do. That's what I've done for years. I'm just an independent source of media because a lot of people are sick of like CNN and shit like that. And I actually started out mainly by doing articles and live streaming in like heavy protest areas and shit like that. So I do my best to put something on the screen to back up what I'm saying, though. Like with almost anything that I claim, I really try to show you guys what I'm talking about. I also encourage people to not just listen to me. Go out and do your own research. Try and find credible research. Don't use memes. Look for something else that supports it. And if you don't fully understand it, then find somebody. Like if I have a question about legal shit, I go to one of my friends that has graduated from law school, and that's what they're doing as a career, and I send them and I say, hey, what does this mean? Because I don't understand this verbiage. Then they explain it to me. That's one of the differences there, is that like Kirk reads something and no matter how he understands it, he just believes it's correct. So the problem isn't that he's not reading. The problem is he doesn't understand what he reads, and he doesn't have anybody, he doesn't want anybody to check and see if he's understanding this shit correctly. He's taking his perception, his understanding of these subjects, and then just fucking sprinting with it and shoving it up the ass of desperate people that are typically in some sort of bad legal stance or just generally pissed off at the government.
What value would you actually have out there? None. And then you want to try and defame me and disparage me?
Yep. Sure do.
Libel, slander.
Feel free to prove it.
You know, those felonies that are out there. You have to be responsible for what you publish.
Yep. Wait. I'm pretty sure he just said libel and slanders are felonies. Captain Law School, libel and slander are civil. Like, that's not it's not a crime. And the other problem with libel or slander, first off, you're going to have to prove your monetary damages that I caused by whatever I said about you. And at the same time, you're going to have to prove that what I claimed was incorrect, which good luck doing that. one of the things, like, I would love to go to a deposition with Kirk because that would not be fun for him at all. What would have to happen is he would have to basically admit, just to prove for the lawsuit to have any weight whatsoever, to prove his financial damages, he would have to prove that I prevented a flow of money from him giving people legal advice, which he is not licensed to be doing. Secondly, none of his hardcore followers that send him anything give a shit what I have to say. If anything, they just come over to my videos to talk shit. They don't care. They're 100% following him regardless. Again, I'm not trying to reach his people. I'm trying to stop new people from going to them. The other problem is proving that what I'm saying is fake. Kirk, cannot disprove these claims because they're not false claims. There's a reason why this has been going on for so long. And instead of suing me, how long ago was that, like, when you came on my live, Kirk? What was that, like almost 2 years ago? In 2 years, he blocked me instead of taking me to court. So that shows how confident he is with his case. But as far as Captain Lawyer over here, just to be clear, libel and slander, those, which also, I don't know if I think I have mentioned him in articles, so I guess he could go for libel and slander. But again, those aren't criminal. Those are civil cases. He would have to civilly sue me. It's not like he can call the police and be like, they slandered me, please go arrest them. There's no criminal charges when it comes to a slander situation or a libel situation. That is a very, very simple part of the law. So seeing that this guy doesn't even understand libel and slander are a civil matter and not a criminal, it really makes me question how strong his legal skills are. But then again, I already questioned him after Timothy Homeseth went on the run for a warrant, when Kirk bailed on him, and when Field got extradited to Florida and they bailed on him, and then when they got Cynthia Absig arrested, then when they got Neely Blanchard arrested. So I'm really not having a lot of confidence with Kirk's understanding of the law. It's almost like he's reading it and misinterpreting it and just running with his misinterpretation. Kind of weird.
All I basically ever wanted to do was try and educate the people.
But you're
and
lying.
I saw that in Chris, and that's why Chris and I came together and worked together. We show the letter of the law. That way there's no argument about what it actually says, and it's not our opinion.
Yes, it is.
It's a fact of law.
No, it's not.
Plain and simple. We've always backed up everything we've said. We show it. As we teach it, we show you the letter of the law. So, I don't know what's wrong with all these trolls out there who seem to think that we don't know what we're talking about when we actually show the letter of the law. Apparently, they're not used to reading the law. They don't even know what it looks like when it's directly in front of them. Or maybe you can't read. I don't know. Maybe you can't comprehend complex things.
Emily Jolly,
you attack things that you can't comprehend.
I feel like I remember the Emily Jolly thing. He is the one that wrote the fake thing for Emily Jolly to kidnap her kids along with Chris Hallett and David Strait. I feel like I remember that. Man, that sounds super fucking familiar. Emily Jolly. I'm going to think on that for a minute. I feel like I remember what you're talking about, though, Ashley.
You just don't quite have, an IQ higher than room temperature in Alaska.
Another woman. See, Levi,
And then to sit there and drag the man's name through the mud after he's deceased. oh, condolences to you out there, and oh, but he's this and he's that, and da-da, and I told everybody they shouldn't have listened to him, and I knew something bad was going to happen. Shit, you barely know when you got to take a shit.
Oh shit, Mark, and now Truth is over there dropping that knowledge, huh? Damn, man. Y'all get it. If y'all want to learn some real law over on YouTube, you got Mark Bone and Truth is in the comments. They're apparently ready to educate on a whole bunch of law stuff.
Y'all are going to see lots of things coming. Now, like we always do, we show you. So hopefully, people can get a better idea of what's really coming. November 2nd, Donald J. Trump. President's Advisory 1776 Commission.
See, Jessica, I thought I did. It seemed, and like Levi was talking about it over on YouTube. I mean, truth is, over on in the YouTube comments, I don't even know why you're bothering to correct your misspelled words when you don't seem to understand the basic grammar. But yeah, sure. My comment section is your comment section, my friend. Please feel free to drop all of your misunderstandings of the law in my comment section. You may shit all over that bad boy. It is all yours. CJ. God damn it, CJ. I'm still laughing over your job recommendation. Yes. Yes, this is the Department of Education plan that Kirk is pointing to, that I don't know what he thinks it's going to be. Hey, truth is, I already told you, man, my comment section, your comment section, you can shit all over it, buddy. You have at it. You can drop all the truths you want. 100%. Make yourself at home. You can diarrhea all the garbage you want.
Why would we have a 1776? Why would Trump do a 1776 commission? Why would Trump do that? What happened in 1776, folks? Would that be the revolution?
It's called an executive order, and it's for the education board. It has to do with school teachings. The Department of Education shall provide funding and administrative support for 1776 Commission to the extent permitted by law and subject to the availability of appropriations. It's great that this is an executive order, but like, do you guys think that this means the country is going back to 1776 style? Like, because I'm guessing from your comments, truth is, you're like up there and like all about the Kirk shit and everything. And I see you say it's an executive order. What exactly does that mean to you, though? What do you think this executive order is actually doing? And we'll go ahead and continue listening to what Kirk thinks this is doing.
The American people at the time told Great Britain to stick it where the sun don't shine. We're not putting up with your tyrannical behavior no more.
Jesus Christ. Law? Mark, are you serious? Law means land, air, and water. Why are you trolling Kirk? Nobody's trolling Kirk. Actually, at this point, he brought me up in his live, so I'm just giving him a nice response. Laurel, I understand that he explains, and we're going to listen to him explain.
You and you barristers out there holding them titles of nobility of Esquire, infiltrating our government. Now this is exactly where I go, you know what? Now that I've realized that we've all been taught wrong. We've all been lied to. And I ask for people to have compassion for their fellow man, including the members of the bar, our members and representatives in government. Because we've all been taught wrong. All of us. They don't even teach them the law in law school. They've had several members of the bar talk about how, man, I didn't learn that in law school. I didn't learn that in law school. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So let's see. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and laws of the United States of America, and in order to better enable a rising generation to understand the history and principles of the founding of the United States in
Yeah, I've been told by several people that he has a warrant. I asked him in his comment section, but he didn't. He either had already muted me or he ignored me. Like I said, I was starting to pull up some other shit. Like, I think I even still have one of his failed appeals from a while ago pulled up, quite possibly. Yeah, from 2014 in Idaho. Kirkley Pendergrass appeals a memorandum decision and order of the district court affirming the magistrate's denial of Pendergrass's motion to suppress. So, like, yeah, I was just starting, and that's all right there. I'm not bullshitting on having that up. I was starting to pull up some of the stuff that, like, Kirk has filed and whatnot. But then, like, the live that he did was just so fucking gross and ridiculous that I was like, fuck it, let's just watch his live tonight. So I don't know. I haven't dug into that warrant thing yet. But we'll see. T. Martina, you sound like a libtard. Solid argument, homie. Jesus Christ. I just got called a libtard. Oh my God. Y'all are bringing out the big guns, huh? Y'all are over there just commenting like 1776 and random articles and libtards. Man, y'all fucking brought out the big guns. Damn, T. Martine following up with the dumbass. The heavy hitters. The heavy hitters come out tonight.
1776, and through this form a more perfect union.
Oh, T. Martine, you don't mean that. You were just saying mean things to me. Then you're going to try and be romantic. Saying, fuck you. How do you know I'm even attracted to you? Do you even know that I would fuck you, Martine? Can I call you T for short? Well, you're not really schooling, though. You're just putting random things out there. Like, what are you putting out and what does it mean? Their truth is. Well, T, you can't stand people like me. Why are you on my live stream then? Like, go away. It's that simple, homie. Good Lord.
It is hereby ordered as follows. The American founding envisioned a political order in harmony with the design of the laws of nature and nature's God. Seeing the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as embodied in and sanctioned by natural law and its traditions. Are you paying attention, trolls? The formation of a republic around these principles marked a clear departure from previous forms of government, securing rights through a form of government that derives its legitimate power from the consent of the governed.
Actually, that's because the funner stuff is over on YouTube. Like, honestly, the YouTube, I haven't been using the Facebook page enough, and Facebook is just so fucked off in general. Anyways, like, normally the YouTube goes a little bit funner. Oh, CJ, I just got your message. I think, because that's from Timothy Homeseth's website. I think Timothy Homeseth's website got completely banned from Facebook. You're not the first person that tried to post stuff about Kirk and Chris from Timothy Homeseth, because like they had that big falling out, and like Timothy Homeseth started talking all this shit on Kirk and Chris. I think Facebook completely blocked Homeseth's site because, I mean, man, he spread a lot of bullshit. His bullshit went pretty far. So he got to the point that they even blocked the website and shit. So yeah, that's why you can't send me that, CJ. T, are you still hanging out? I mean, what do you mean is bullshit, Teen? I'll tell you what, T, why don't you go grab a link from Timothy Homeseth's website and go post it on Facebook? Jesus Christ. T, liar is spelled L-I-A-R, not L-I-E-R. It's L-I-A-R, you fuck. Jesus Christ. Oh, man, okay. I'm kind of glad that some of you guys are coming into their rescue, because that makes me a little bit less irritated with these people. T, you know all about it. I know you do. I know you do, T. You do. You read. Oh, that's Mark. Okay, T. You're doing it, man. See. That sucks. Stephanie just put, man, fuck the BS. I only came across your page because Chris Death and randomly claimed across your video earlier. I tried the BS paperwork they claim works. ... And that's the thing, man. Like a lot of the people that do try their shit, they normally get blocked off from being able to talk about it. Yeah, hey Earl. Yeah, see, the YouTube comments they're normally a little bit more active and rambunctious over on YouTube. Jesus. So Stephanie's saying, damn near lost my kids, but stopped falling for their BS and got custody back, but still sitting here with 5 felonies of taking custody of a minor. Jesus shit. And that's the sort of stuff that I'm talking about. Yes, T, I'm quite aware of common law and your guys' little bullshit tricks of trying to call it common law to pretend like you're not just practicing sovereign bullshit. I got you loud and clear, T. But that's the sort of shit like what Stephanie is talking about over there on YouTube. Man, that's the sort of shit you don't hear, and they're real quick to block people. And all of them are locked like that and shit. Because there's a lot of people that have tried to speak out against some of these people. Fran is notorious for that shit. Just blocking them on site. They don't like when the narrative goes against it. They don't like when people start to expose them for anything. That's why I'm blocked by all of them. There's been a few people that have pulled out, though, before things got that bad. So, Stephanie, I'm sorry that you even had to go through the bullshit, but on a bright side, congratulations, and I'm glad that you did pull out of it, because in all honesty, and we on the serious side, like, we're making fun of T and stuff because You know, T's a fucking moron. But on the serious side, like, it is understandable how people fall for this, because they do come after people in a very vulnerable state, that are really, and most of the time there's some financial issues. They basically can't stand against what they're facing. They're getting the shit knocked out of them by the government, because let's face it, the law and the government was set up to knock the shit out of us. So they're vulnerable. You know, it's the same as people selling fake cancer cures to desperate cancer patients. It's the same exact principles. They're hunting people that are vulnerable, and they need help, and so they're willing to take whoever offers that help. It's like not. It's not hard to see how they get a hold of these people.
My gosh, that would be sovereignty, wouldn't it?
And also, like, if you did fall for their stuff ever, don't feel bad about that shit. Like, it's confusing, and again, they hit you at a vulnerable point, you know, and it's hard for people to admit that they got taken for any kind of scam. So also, Stephanie, props to you for even admitting that, because most people don't have the balls to even say that, hey, I got took by these people and it fucking sucked. Most people really don't have the balls to say that. So honestly, props to even admitting to that, because that is part of what would help shutting these people down, is more people coming forward and saying, yeah, these guys got me and it fucking sucked. So no, that props to you on both for pulling out and for yeah, even saying what happened. And I'm being legit on that one. I'm not talking shit. There's no shame in it, man. All of us let our guards down and get taken advantage by somebody in life. You know, it happens. No matter who that person is, it's happened. It's been a friend, it's been a relative, it's been a significant other. Like, everybody at some point has let their guard down and been taken advantage of. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Just some people are shitty, and unfortunately, they're looking for victims.
Because Ethics in Government, Title 74, subsection 201, the people of the state of Idaho, in creating the instruments of government that serve them, do not yield their sovereignty to the agencies so created. Because God is the sovereign. And God created all of mankind.
Well, T, what I'm doing is trying to clear up some of the mess these other people create. That's what I do. I've done a lot of things, actually. You can go back and look through things. Okay, well, T, that's one of the first things. I'm one of the first people to admit that we're fighting a corrupt government. The problem is, what Kirk is telling you to do is not fighting it. It fucks yourself over. Like, it literally fucks yourself over from fighting a corrupt government. So, no, that's not good. That's not a good thing at all. That's not something you should encourage. You can't say that you're fighting a corrupt government while you're fucking scamming people. He's not telling you to do anything, no, but he's filling your head and a bunch of other people's heads full of a bunch of bullshit. I mean, yeah, that's one thing. People like get confused on this channel sometimes when I talk shit on these like ridiculous sovereign nonsense and shit. Dude, I'm not a fan of the government. I'm very open about that. I don't like Biden. I don't like Trump. I don't like Pelosi. I don't like Schumer. I don't like our government. I'm not a fan of how our government is ran at all. I think our government is incredibly fucking broken. Incredibly broken. I think the people are no longer a priority whatsoever. I think there's a lot of people that are in power for way too long and are making profits from very dark areas, from inside trading, tips, deals, legislation. There's a long, long list of reasons why I think this government's fucked on all sides. And sorry, CJ, but even the Libertarian Party, I think, needs to step it up a bit. I think all of our parties are 100% fucked up at the moment. But that's the thing. Now, T, what you just said there, get your big boy pants on and fight. This isn't fighting. Just making up laws and interpreting law books so that it fits what you want to think and how you think it should run is not putting on your big boy pants and fighting. Like, at this moment, if this country is not ready for any sort of revolutionary war, which it isn't, we are not ready to try and overturn our government or anything like that. There's no fucking way in hell we're ready for anything like that. So in the meantime, I mean, if you want to fight it that bad, you're going to have to play by their rules. You can't just make up laws and walk into a courtroom and not expect to get completely fucked in the ass. It doesn't work like that. It will never work like that. So until there is any sort of actual rebuilding of the government, you better learn how they're fucking playing instead of playing around in this fictional fantasyland bullshit, and start bringing something that can actually do some damage instead of this nonsense. Because in any serious court case, like, maybe you'll get some traffic tickets thrown out because they're just getting annoyed of wasting this much time on this sort of nonsense over a traffic ticket. But anything serious, you're not getting out of that. That's why Field McConnell is still fucking sitting down in Broward County, Florida, waiting to go to jail. That is why Timothy Homeseth is on the fucking run right now. You realize these people, Kirk and Chris, like, their own people have criminal charges that they can't get out of. So what is working from them? Like, their own people cannot get out of their charges. Really stop and think about that. Cynthia Absig and Neely Blanchard, Chris and Kirk could not get her children home, either of them. Instead, they went through these kidnapping things. Timothy Homeseth, Kirk was supposed to go to court with him. Kirk told him to not go to court, and now he is on the run. Field McConnell, Kirk was going to stop them from getting extradited. He got extradited. Where is it working? With any serious charge that their own people have received, show me where it's worked. Like, it's literally that simple. Why can't they help their own people if they are so fucking educated on the law? And if they can't help their own people, what the fuck are they doing trying to teach other people the law? It doesn't make any sense.
Which is a man and a womb man. A man with a womb.
God damn it.
That's it. Male, female. Plain and simple. There are no...
Yes, and Karen is 100% right. The point of all of this right now one of their own has murdered one of their own. Like, this is... this has gone way too fucking far. Oh, Randy Erickson, I know. Now, Randy Erickson's somebody we're going to start talking about. 100%. Randy's been sitting in the background for a little while now. And I think Randy's a lot more important to a lot of these different situations than a lot of people. What happened to Field McConnell? At last I knew, he is still in Broward County, Florida, waiting to go to court. He's not allowed online. He was extradited out to there for threatening Kim Picasio, the Florida attorney that Timothy Homeseth has been falsely claiming with no evidence whatsoever that she was trafficking children to Ukraine, I think. Yeah, Field's held up in Florida, not allowed online because of his threats towards her. And then what happened was Kirk was actually staying at Field's house during that time, and Kirk and Chris were supposed to stop Field from being extradited. And that didn't happen at all. Yes, Nick Raines, who killed him, was Neely Blanchard. well, alleged. Right now, she's who is arrested for it. Apparently, she turned herself in Georgia. Neely Blanchard is one of their clients, and that is who was arrested in March for kidnapping her kids while doing this eClause shit. Which again, Neely was one of their biggest fans. Her license plate said eClause on it, which eClause was Kirk and Chris's little law group. Her license plate on her car said eClause. So, I mean, she's like one of their biggest supporters. And again, they couldn't get her kids. She kidnapped them. Like, the Secret Service was involved in catching her and arresting her for kidnapping those kids. It doesn't work. None of this is working. So yeah, that was a quick summary all around there. And actually, Nick, if you are curious, in the description, Jesus Christ, Laurel. Oh, sorry, guys. Neely is actually an agent of eClause. All right, is that better for you, Laurel? Yes, T, her own kids, because Neely's been very unstable for a very long time and has multiple arrests showing that. And her own kids were actually in their grandmother's custody, like their whole life. The grandmother raised them, and then she kidnapped them from the grandmother because a whole bunch of fucking reasons. That's one of those things where, like, protecting a child, isn't that like part of the whole stopping pedophiles and all that save the children shit? Aren't we supposed to be thinking of the children in these situations? Because obviously the lady that just killed a guy, I mean, come on, like, for fuck's sake, y'all. Okay, AIT, I'm not even sure where you hopped in there. Okay, I'm not sure what argument you're involved in. Well, T, I think you suck too. CPS is a corporation. CPS is pretty close to a corporation. It's a privatized industry, and actually my state in Kansas is the first one to privatize, and that was after a lawsuit that they lost in, I believe it was it started in like 1989 and then finished in 91, I believe. It was a class action back when it was just SRS. What happened was the children were being abused so badly in Kansas, and they had such horrible conditions. This lawsuit that started in, I think it was Shawnee County, Kansas. The ACLU got involved, turned into a class action. Part of it was there was a long list of changes that the Kansas Social Services had to make by, I believe it was 1996. When it hit that date, they had not made all the changes that was court ordered from that lawsuit. So what they did instead was they decided they were going to privatize the system. In 96, I believe the foster was privatized, and then in 97 the adoption privatized. Now the system that you're seeing all over, that's when DCF was born. DCF was actually the first model for this. So across the country where you're seeing DHS, DSR, DHR, whatever name they want to go under, that actually started in my state of Kansas. So a lot of you guys that are coming on and like you're trying to talk about CPS being a corporation, and I get it that we're right in the middle of shit, but I don't think a lot of you, because you haven't been following me, understand how long I've done stuff and some of the stuff that I am educated on. And I would almost be willing to bet that while you're screaming CPS is a corporation, you also didn't even know the origins of how these agencies became privatized across the country, which is pretty pertinent information to have if this is your enemy. So, I mean, it's, you can't just scream nonsense at people. You're not going to get anything through to people screaming nonsense, and you're not going to be able to fix anything. What is it? I work for the CIA now? God damn it. Do you think any scammers will learn from this, think to themselves, maybe it could be me next if I don't stop scamming people, or do you think they keep going with their scams? CJ, I think Kirk answered that question tonight. I 100% think Kirk answered that question tonight. Because, like I said, I want to do some of the election conspiracy debunks, and that's actually what I was leaning towards doing until I saw Kirk's live and shit. And then I sat through the live and was like, yeah, fuck that. Let's just go ahead and play this. So no, I really didn't expect that. I don't know why I didn't expect that. I don't even know why this group it like surprises me anymore. No, I think it's pretty clear at this point there was no lesson learned. I don't think there was a lesson learned. Just how all of them have responded so far. Fran's still just running her mouth like she's not a walking trash bag. Kirk's hopping right onto a live talking about all this crazy conspiracy shit. No, I don't think anybody's learned anything. I don't know what I don't think it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take, honestly. I don't know. I don't know. I was actually, a part of me was hoping that, CJ, I was hoping that this was like gonna be that rude awakening that a lot of people that have been following this for a while now, I thought maybe this would be that rude awakening that would get some people to be like, okay, let's maybe back off. Did Fran ever lose her son? His father does have custody, and they're like doing shared custody shit, which, I mean, I know information on that too. Like, and I'm gonna say that I don't know exactly if that's the best for the child, but between both the parents, I think that kid's stuck in a rather shitty spot. But yeah, that's another example that these people can't win their own shit. That's right. Yeah, Field is hanging out at his kid's house. I think I remember hearing that. And what? His court probably got pushed back from COVID and all that shit. But yeah, he was like, his last, I think I actually have Field's last court document somewhere. Let me see. I think I do have it over on our scribed. Scribed. Yeah, okay. Here's Field, which remind you, this was one of the things Kirk and Chris were supposed to stop. And this happened on March 6th, actually, after he was extradited out there. This cause having come on to be heard of the Honorable Court on Friday, March 6, 2020, pursuant to the defendant Field McConnell's written motion to reduce the $100,000 bond and modify certain pretrial release conditions previously set imposed in the above reference case, and upon his court hearing argument of counsel and being otherwise fully advised of the premises, is hereby ordered and adjudged that defendant Field McConnell's written motion to reduce a $100,000 bond is and modify certain pretrial release conditions previously set and imposed in the above reference case is hereby denied in part and granted in part. In that regard, it is ordered the court that the defendant's request to reduce the $100,000 bond is denied, and the monetary portion of the bond shall remain at $100,000. It is a further order of the court that the defendant Field McConnell's request to modify certain release conditions is granted, and the release conditions shall be set as follows. Field McConnell shall be allowed to reside with his son, Cole McConnell, and his family in Stewart, Martin County, Florida, during the pendency of his case under Level 1 supervision of the Broward Sheriff's Office, Division of Pretrial Services. Cole McConnell, let's try and skip over that, but it was probably too late. Well, I mean, actually, I already published this, so whatever. Additionally, because the defendant will be residing outside the Tri-County area, it is further ordered that Level 1 supervision with electronic monitoring, GPS activities shall be conducted and monitored by House Arrest Services, Inc., West Palm Beach, blah, 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 in conjunction with Broward Sheriff's Office, Palm Beach County Director for House Arrest Services, Inc., and blah, blah, blah. Upon the posting of the $100,000 bond, the defendant, Field McConnell, shall be released from the Broward County Jail into the custody of Broward Sheriff's Office Division of Pretrial Services, who will retain custody of the defendant until House Arrest Services, Inc. installs and activates the required GPS monitoring equipment. The defendant, Field McConnell, shall surrender his United States passport to the Broward Sheriff's Office Division of Pretrial Services, or clerk of court, and the passport shall not be returned to the defendant until the conclusion of all court proceedings in the case upon further order of this court. The defendant, Field McConnell, shall have no direct, indirect, or third-party contact or communication with Kim Picasia or her family via telephone, email, social media, or other forms of communication. Upon his release from custody, the defendant, Field McConnell, shall undertake all available means to close all of his email accounts, social media accounts, YouTube channel, and other means of internet communication, and not access social media in any form. Upon his release from custody, the defendant, Field McConnell, shall not own or possess any firearms or device with internet access. Upon his release from custody, the defendant, Field McConnell, shall have no telephone access and any contemplated telephonic communication to his wife or family shall be conducted through his attorney, Howard Sohn, Esquire, via three-way call. So again, that's Field McConnell, who was one of Kirk and Chris's clients, technically. They were supposed to stop him from being extradited and all this other shit. So the couple people over on YouTube that are over here talking about how correct Kirk is and everything, that's where their legal practices got Field. Field's not even allowed online right now. So that didn't work out too great. Actually, no, they did say what Neely was arrested for in Georgia. I spoke to what county was it? Marion County. Marion County actually called me. And actually, AIT, it's not funny how she wasn't charged with anything in Georgia. Right now, she's held on homicide, but you got to remember that the crime didn't actually happen in Georgia. So what's happening right now is she's waiting to be extradited back to Florida, where the crime actually happened, so she can talk to detective and investigators in Florida where the crime happened, and then they're going to give that information to the prosecutor, and then they're going to decide where that homicide is going to go. She was arrested at 9 p.m. It happened at 9 p.m., and then she was arrested today. I don't even think they were sure on the exact time, but she apparently turned herself in Lowndes, Georgia. But that's actually pretty standard protocol. At the moment, she is being held on a homicide. She will be extradited back to Florida. And then when she talks to detectives, they'll decide if it's going to be a first degree, second degree, third degree, self-defense, whatever the fuck they're going to end up charging her with. That's how they're going to figure it out. Field is not in custody. Holy shit. Okay. Oh my God. The fights are all set up. You fell right into the trap. Same playbook. Field is not in custody. What the fuck are you talking about? Field's in custody, bro. Like, Field's going to fucking court. Field is facing criminal charges. Like, he's waiting to go to court right now. He's not allowed online. Go. I'll tell you what, man. Tell Field to hop on a line on a fucking live stream right now. If Field isn't in custody, he doesn't have any legal issues going on, and there isn't a fucking court order right now for him to be online. Where the fuck's he been since March? I'll wait. It's really weird how he deleted all of his social media and got offline when he was ordered to by the court in March. LOL, Field is not back online because of what he said. He is federal witness. Jesus Christ. How do y'all motherfuckers believe this shit? Like, for real, how do y'all believe this shit? You think Field is a federal witness, and he's not facing charges at all. Like what? He's just kicking it in Florida. He's not facing any charges. Like, do you have one thing he could be? Proof he isn't. I just showed the fucking court papers showing that he isn't. How about you show something backing your claim? Mark, I really doubt that you know more than I know. Your display in my YouTube comments have been amazing, but no. I mean, show me one piece of evidence showing that Field is a federal witness that is not awaiting trial right now. I mean, can T Patriot, which T Patriot is a super reliable name, what are you talking about? So does Timothy Homeseth really have a warrant? Yeah, we do. We have the Field McConnell fan club here. Okay, so just Semper Fi. So now Truth is and T Patriot, you guys are both Marines, and you know that Field is a federal witness and not actually in legal trouble right now and ordered offline. I'm just making sure that like I have this all straight. This is impressive. Most of the time you guys just hang around and don't say anything until I'm off the live. Okay, wait. Truth is, you just said corrupt law. Corrupt law is not. What do you mean corrupt law? Field isn't even in legal trouble. I thought he's a federal witness. And so, if it is corrupt law, what is Field a federal witness for? Why is he even cooperating if the law is corrupt? Autopilot in all caps. Okay, what's on autopilot, Mark? Like, you can't have it both ways here. So is the law corrupt and it's like completely fucked up, corrupt, not going right? Or is Field is helping this corrupt law? Is that what we're saying? That like the federal government is completely fucked, everything's screwed, it's very corrupt, and Field is working with them? Oh. Field's working against them. Jesus Christ. The planes, autopilot, SES, 911. The FBI spent 200 million trying to frame Bundy Hammonds and lost, even murdered Lavoie. The Lavoie shooting was fucked up. I'll agree with you there. I mean, granted, it was fucked up all around. You probably shouldn't have got out of the truck like that, but I would say that the shooting was still pretty fucked up. Yes, corrupt. Field is going against the law. So, like, okay, so is this just a big scheme? Like the whole arrest of Field McConnell and everything, it was just a big cover-up for him to go be a federal witness against the corrupt government? He's not actually arrested. He's just going to Field of Dreams. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, that's fake. Okay, I got you. Fake. Sorry. I thought. Didn't have a warrant of Lavoie. Okay, that's an argument I'm not even going to touch. I'm still more interested in the Field part. Got us all wondering, doesn't it? Have to wait and see, won't we? No, it honestly doesn't have me wondering. Yes, some are shitty, which I right there with them as you edit your videos on moms, etc. Because if you were fighting the corrupt government, you would be standing up instead of stalking. I mean, if you guys were fighting the government, you wouldn't be supporting these people taking advantage of desperate families. So, I mean, you're supporting literally garbage people that are taking advantage of people in situations being taken advantage of by this corrupt government. So I'd say you're way lower on the totem pole than me. But please continue with this whole Field McConnell thing. So, like, he's not arrested. There is no charges. All of this is fake for him to help take down the corrupt government. Like, am I understanding that correctly? Is that what you guys are going with on the Field McConnell thing? Like, the court document I just showed is completely fake, and it's a cover because Field McConnell is actually a federal witness to go against the corrupt government. Is that like close to what you guys are saying right now? No, Field was ensnared by corrupt law, and now he is going against it. So then Field is facing charges, like I said. Like, he's currently waiting to go to court with the corrupt law. Let's go with the corrupt law, even though Field was the one that was completely harassing an innocent attorney in Florida based off the claims of a lunatic with no fucking backing evidence, which would be Timothy Homseth. So which part of it was corrupt that grabbed him? Because, like, you realize Field's charges are for threatening an attorney, which he was threatening an attorney. Like, there's countless information, there's tons of information of that. Along with Timothy Homseth, I think the last injunction that Ken Picasio filed, I mean, what, there was like 2,300 violations or some shit. Why hasn't he went to court yet? Because that's a normal court process. It's what date are we in? That was in March when he just got extradited out there. That was right when COVID started. It's not too weird that he hasn't been to court yet. There's been a lot of postponing and shit since then. Cynthia Absig is in federal custody. Interesting. So does that mean Cynthia Absig is not being charged? Or is Cynthia in custody because of the corrupt law? All you need to know is 5736 Smith, Munt, 1948, all news lies all the time. Okay. Thank you for that, Mark. Field McConnell is tan, grinning ear to ear, waiting for the hammer to drop. Okay. So what exactly happens when the hammer drops? Defend those rights which heaven gave, and no man ought to take them from us. John Hancock. Didn't the Bible say something about following the laws of the land? I mean, like, it's cool that you're saying John Hancock said to listen to God in the heavens, but, like, didn't God in the heavens say to listen to man's law, or am I mistaken on that? Okay, so Cynthia's getting screwed. Okay, so Cynthia's getting screwed and Field is okay. But wait, I thought one of you just said that Field was getting fucked by a corrupt government, and then one of you other ones said that he's grinning and waiting for the hammer to drop. So which one was that? Like, so are they both victims of a corrupt government, but they're both waiting for the hammer to drop? One hammer will be Kim Picasio facing justice. Okay, so what exactly is Kim Picasio facing justice for? But you know what? Here, let me. I don't even know if we'll finish the fucking Kirk video at this point. I wonder if I can make that bigger for you guys. No, that might be about as big as it can get. And to my Facebook people, sorry, you can like completely ditch the Facebook side of things if you want. And if you go in the description, there's a link to the YouTube channel. I've gotten completely sidetracked by this YouTube conversation. Truth is, God damn it. Okay, let me see. Where's our? Not true. Field has been out of jail, protective custody. Yep, Field was online. You ass have no idea what you were talking about. Saw him in person. Well, according to the court, he's not supposed to be online. So if he is online, that's actually not a good thing, and you probably shouldn't say that publicly. Come on, discuss, keep up. I thought you were following this stuff. Truth is, I'm doing my best to try and keep up with you guys right now. But you guys are super woke, and like the whole part of you guys not having any supporting evidence for any of the bullshit that you're claiming is really making it a little hard for me to keep up. So, I mean, I would be able to keep up a lot better if you guys could show any sort of supporting documents, like I just showed that supporting document from court about Field McConnell. Which, if you put links in the comments and shit, I can 100% copy it and I can throw it up on the screen. So if you have any supporting documents, please feel free to share them, and I can pull them right up right there at any time. Neely did not turn herself in. Where are you getting your facts? I got that from her mother. Like, literally from her mom, who spoke to her. So I actually showed those screenshots earlier. So yeah, that's where I got that information. Yeah, the founders and framers wiped that Romans 13 out, didn't they? Self-governing, not to bow to the gov, resistance to tyrants, to obedience to God. Okay, Thomas Jefferson, cool. So again, though, like, do any of you guys dropping these truth bombs have like anything that I can show on the screen supporting what you're claiming? She was arrested in Georgia. She turned herself in Georgia. According to her mom, she was scared to turn herself into Florida because she claimed that Chris and Kirk are trafficking kids and involved in bad shit. Which wouldn't be surprising, because if you guys are Q kiddos, I mean, you guys surely know about Jim Watson and like 8kun and the history of hosting child pornography on there and everything. All of you big bad Save the Children patriots who are fucking supporting Jim Watson's perverted ass and his shitty websites, helping him make money. Yeah, save them children. What time did she turn herself in? That's important. It would have been today-ish. Like I said earlier today, it happened at 9 p.m. last night, and then it was somewhere around noon today that they gave the update that she was in custody. No way. Wow, don't believe that. I mean, what don't you believe about it? Have you have you ever even seen the site where these fucking Q drops come from? Like, have you been on 8kun? Do you know the history of these sites at all? I can. I mean, here. Let's go ahead and get you guys back off of this screen. I won't show too much because I don't really want to lose my YouTube channel or Facebook page. But like this is like one of the main sources of your guys' precious information. This is 8kun. This is 8chan. And if you'll notice, your Q Patriot research, what do we got here? We got adult baby diaper love. A board for that, just what, 2-3 fucking places up from your Q Patriot research? Isn't 8kun, isn't that like what the Q drops? Isn't this like one of your main sources? Isn't this ran by Jim Watson? Isn't this over in the Philippines? No history of child pornography on his websites whatsoever. That never happened. You know, Hot Wheels, guy that actually started the site before Jim took it over, any of that shit. Like, I mean, have you guys actually been on this website where you supposedly, like, this is the trusted site. This is from Q Maps itself and everything. 8kun is one of the only places that you can trust with these Q drops. And literally 1, 2, 3, 4 boards above your Patriot research is adult baby diaper love, which I can't even click on that because some of the images when you go in there, we can see right there, very graphic racial slang there. Sexy, beautiful women, henty games. Boy pussy, cute boys. That's a good one to be on 8kun since you guys are stopping pedophilia and saving children, right? Pretty cool to have that cute boys, boy pussy area on the same page as your Patriot research. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, yeah, there's like, come on, man. Y'all are full of shit. President Trump equals Sun Tzu, art of war, never interrupt the enemy while they're in the process of destroying themselves. Jesus Christ. So basically, you're using President Trump equals Sun Tzu as in nothing is happening, and so since nothing's happening, that's just your excuse. Like, Jesus Christ, y'all. Like, I get it, man. There's things that you don't get, but dude, a lot of the shit you guys are coming here with, I mean, it's easily debunked. I can tell that y'all are dropping some Q stuff and you have that shit bubbling around in your brains. The website that was just up, that's 8kun. 8kun used to be 8chan. Like, basically, 4chan is like... 4chan's like the butthole of the internet. And long ago, like 4chan does have some measure of monitoring and whatnot. 8chan was a spawn of 4chan and claimed to basically be like what Parler is doing now, like a completely freedom of peace or freedom of speech, fucking do whatever you want, full rampage after this really hardcore attack on the gamer girls by people from 4chan, and people got pissed off. 8chan was started by Wheels. I can't remember Hot Wheels' real name. I don't know if his Twitter's still up. He deleted his Twitter a little bit ago. Franklin. It's Franklin. Fuck. I know his damn name. But whatever. Franklin started 8chan and then paired up with this Watson, Jim Watson, who's over in the Philippines. He's like done websites for a lot of years. He was in the military at one point. He moved over to the Philippines, and his sites have been linked multiple times to different child pornography and whatnot, including 8chan and 8kun. Like, 4chan definitely did a way better, way better job of controlling child porn than 8chan or 8kun ever did. around like 2000, I think it was like 2016 or 17, maybe later, maybe 18. Franklin actually got booted, and Jim took over 8kun completely. And Franklin was actually trying to shut down his own creation because a lot of the like a lot of our mass shootings and shit, when it comes to like racially induced or hate filled white shooting shit, they were putting their manifestos and shit on 8chan, and they were catching a bunch of shit, and Franklin felt like it was just becoming this breeding ground of hate. So 8kun and 8chan has a long history of doing fucked up shit. And then you had this Q maps, or the Q drop site, which was all linked up into 8kun. And then also Watson started this super PAC that was promoted through both of them. Like, they were found to be on the same servers. There's so much shit coming out about Q and the 8kun and shit that the Q people don't want to hear at all. But the ties of where their information comes from and what the sites actually are, they're not good. You just go to it. Honestly, I mean, I normally don't really... I normally don't even give out. Yeah, I'm not going to comment it. I believe you can still just get there straight from 8kun.net. But I think it might be like 8kun.top or some shit now. Because they just went through another thing where they had to like move. They had to move around again. But that area that I showed you guys, that Q Patriot Research, that's supposed to be like one of the main Q sources. That's like, there's the Q drop site, and then there's 8kun. Like, that's supposed to be where you trust to hear directly from Q. And as I just showed you, 4 boards above Q Patriot Research is Adult Baby Diaper Love, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's adults putting on diapers and basically shitting on themselves for pictures and whatnot. This is where Q and Save the Children are getting their information. The same site that 10 boards down has Boy Pussy / Cute Boys. Like, I mean, come on, y'all. Fuck. I get that you see the memes of Q and like the Q site, but Jesus Christ. It's like, go past the meme. If you go to the actual sites, this is the dumpster fires of the internet that it's coming from. No, I wasn't saying Chris and Kirk were there. I was saying that you guys are talking about some like bullshit ass Q stuff, and I just wanted to see if you guys understood where Q came from. If you've been to any of the sites that you're most likely sharing memes that are echoing the claims from these sites, if you've actually seen the origins of those memes that you're most likely sharing on your social media, just judging by your comments here tonight. Because, I mean, it feels like most likely there is... You got a little Q in you. You got a little Q on your shirt there. What is this, a fishing trip for goons? I'm not even really sure what this is anymore. Like, we've basically completely abandoned Facebook at this point. to the 22 people over on Facebook, man, my bad. Do you guys even actually, because we were doing this before we got distracted by this whole conversation over on YouTube, where they were saying how Field actually isn't even in jail, which, sorry, Field McConnell's another one I've been following, so that was just interesting to hear that take. Do we even want to finish this Kirk video? Like, I don't know, because they're normally fucking boring. Didn't where this stuff was going know you were bashing a dead man. I was bashing him when he was alive. The difference of him being alive or dead is irrelevant to me saying this before he was alive or dead. That this is something that I've been saying. Actually, his death is the thing that we've been warning about. This is why we've talked about these people and said these exact same things for over a year now. Too much going on to spoon feed the trolls. I saw him with my own eyes. It's all a setup. Field ready for hammer time. I don't believe you at all, T-Patriot, because first off, your name is T-Patriot. Kim, the latest conspiracy that, well, actually, it's funny you say that, Kim, because Kirk's last video, which I'll even put that in the comments, because, yeah, I doubt we're even going to finish this tonight. And from this, it's boring. He, like, confuses what the hell's going on here. I think maybe I will play the end, though, once he gets past, because he thinks that this right here, which has to do with the Department of Education, is like changing the country, whatever the fuck he thinks. Maybe I will play the end, though, once he's past all that shit real quick. But to kind of sum up, the summary, Kim, is multiple. Or the conspiracies are multiple. Deep State was mentioned because they were taking down powerful people. Pedophiles. He was talking about pedophiles, that they're taking down pedophiles. He mentioned MK Ultra at one point. I feel like I'm missing one. There was like 3 or 4 conspiracies altogether. Okay, wait. Well, T-Patriot, you guys got to keep your story straight. Okay, so Field McConnell was in front of the grand jury witness protection, but I thought he was in custody because of a corrupt law system. Like what? How? Guys, we keep on going back and forth here. So is he in custody because the government's corrupt, or is he in... Okay, so Field is now a 9/11 whistleblower. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so he's not in custody because of a corrupt law system then. He is in custody because he's in witness protection as a 9/11 whistleblower. Is that what we're saying? Or did he go into custody because of a corrupt law system, and then once he was in custody because of the corrupt law system, they found out he was a 9/11 whistleblower? I'm really trying here, T-Patriot. I'm trying to stay with you on what's actually going on with Field here, and I'm just having problems because I swear you guys have switched up what's going on like 2 or 3 times. Like, if you need a minute to answer, we'll go ahead and maybe start letting Kirk finish some of his stuff. But okay, T-Patriot, that's not an answer, though. It's not you are correct, because I asked you. Okay, or wait, okay, so what you're saying, he went in, okay, so you're saying Field was arrested by a corrupt law system, then once he was arrested by the corrupt law, Field became a witness for 9/11. Like, he was arrested for threatening an attorney in Florida and extradited to Florida, and then once they had him in custody, they protected him to be a 9/11 whistleblower. because that sounds totally legit. Truth is, I'm trying, man. I'm coming on. I just hold the door a little bit longer. Like, at what point did he turn into, like, did he change from criminal to whistleblower? Like, when, man, should we start doing live calls again? God, I could. T Patriot, do you want to call in? I'll throw a number up on the screen if you want to call in, T Patriot. Okay, so, but he was a 9/11 whistleblower before this incident. So what? So why didn't they just use him as a whistleblower? Like, why'd they have to arrest him and charge him for threatening Kim Picasio, which he was really doing? Why did they have to arrest him to make him a 9/11 whistleblower? Why didn't they just take him and put him into protective custody without arresting him for the crimes he was committing? Like, at what point was arresting him for for the crimes he was doing necessary? Like, if the end result was still him going into federal protection, like, I'm not understanding here, because he was threatening her on social media, on Facebook and YouTube. He threatened Kim Picasio for a while, so he got charged for those crimes. But if he was already a 9/11 whistleblower, why did they even wait for him to do that? I almost had it. Okay. Well, help me understand why he was even had to be arrested to become a 9/11 whistleblower. Like, god damn, dude. I'm gonna y'all motherfuckers are gonna give me a fucking brain aneurysm is what you're gonna do. Holy shit. The mental gymnastics, I'm not gonna lie, the mental gymnastics going on here is fucking amazing. Yeah, and actually, you know, why right now is the fake reality count? Literally, if you're not on YouTube, the account fake reality is speaking more truth than the people that have like truth related names. Uh, I mean, I know enough about him. Truth is, I know that he was threatening Kim Picasio and was arrested for it. Yeah, I've actually heard that same thing, that Kirk fucked over Field. Because, like, Kirk was, like, staying at his house and shit when all of that was going on. Kirk and Chris were supposed to get Field out of this and, like, stop him from being extradited and all this other shit. Like, I mean, this is. Like, I don't understand how Field went from being charged for something that he was publicly doing, like there's witnesses to it and there's court documents backing it. I don't know how he went from that to being a protected 9/11 whistleblower. Even if he was a 9/11 whistleblower before then, what what the fuck are you all talking about? Like, I mean, do you honestly believe this? You honestly believe right now, like the court documents and shit about Field mean nothing, and he's just a 9/11 whistleblower. So is his case actually okay? Let's see if you guys can just answer this one. Is his case dismissed then? Government is not following any law or due process. Arrest coming soon. Confirmation started. Arrest started in Virginia. Bad apple starting to tumble. Okay. So what arrest started in Virginia, and what does that have to do with Field being a 9/11 whistleblower? Like, God, and I apologize to guys again for us getting so sidetracked, but this is literally one of the first times that normally they wait for me to get off live and then they'll just leave shitty comments. And the thing is, I like, aside from just seeing a glance at notifications, I don't really fuck with the comments if I'm not live. Um, so, and that's something too. Like any of you guys that are watching that hate me and you're like waiting for me to go off live so that you can comment, like it doesn't work the same. Chances are I'm not even going to read your comment because I only see it in the YouTube studio where they show like the last 3 notifications. So your best bet is to just cuss me out while I'm live because I won't see you cuss me out later on, most likely. Yes, actually, I did hear that they were trying to get Fields home, according to Daniel Estella. I've also heard there was also some rumors going around that uh, Kirk ran off with possibly, I believe it was a car and a laptop while Field was in jail instead of getting him out of jail. But that was word of mouth. That was a thing. I mean, Kirk was out there while they were supposed to stop Field from getting extradited. Wayne, so is that why Kirk was not able to stop Field from being extradited? Is it because Field is a 9/11 whistleblower? And it didn't have to do with Kirk having no fucking clue what he's talking about? Yeah, yeah, all right. What is it, Kuloa? I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but yeah, you're right. Let's let Kirk talk, and we'll give you guys over in the YouTube comments a second to figure out this whole Fields a 9/11 whistleblower. No documents given to anyone until the rest of the bad apples. Oh, so this is like a super top secret mission that's going on that somehow you know about from Facebook and YouTube. Because, because like these super top secret missions that nobody can know about and there's no documents about, that it always comes out in a meme on Facebook. Because why not? Sounds legit. Let's go ahead and hear what Kirk has to say.
From duty, it ain't going to get him in trouble, and it's just going to get you a lawsuit you're going to have to fight for 17 frickin' years. Like the Hardwick versus Vreeken case. 17 and a half years for the appellate court, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, to say, no, you can't lie to separate a child from their parents. No, you can't do that. You can't lie. Really? 17 and a half years. We're arguing whether or not people can lie.
Yeah, we can call him Captain Kirk.
Really? I thought the 9th commandment was, thou shalt not bear false witness. How do we not know that? That's a principle of law. A moral
Hey, Annabelle.
principle.
Welcome to the party.
Right? I'm not supposed to lie. I mean, seriously. 17 and a half years to give the opinion that any man, right, or, pardon me, any official with an IQ greater than room temperature in Alaska knows that the conduct of the center of this case violates both state and federal law. Perjury, lying, is a felony. Both state and federal, right? And it doesn't matter whether it's criminal or civil. Lying is lying. So there's perjury, and then there's subordination of perjury. Oh, that's that negative nexus that Chris talked about. The -1 times a -1 equals a +1 mathematically. For those of you that aren't that good at math, them trolls out there that try to tell me, no, -1 doesn't equal a +1. Yeah, go back to school, dude.
In this same live, Kirk said he didn't become an electrician because it's the only one that you had to go to school for. I just wanted to point that out because I just remembered that when he said that.
So the first lie, right? And then the member of the bar there presents it to the judge, so that's the second -1, and the judge sees that as a +1. And unless the defendant does their what? Pleadings. You gotta do your pleadings. That's how it's done. That's how we do this in a civilized society, is we talk about it in paper. Send it back and forth. No, you're full of shit, dude. Prove it. Oh, well, crap. No, I don't have any evidence to support my claims. Well, I guess we're going to move for dismissal, aren't we? Sui juris, of lawful age, of sound mind, and perfectly capable of handling your administrative duties. Do not come out here and try and say that you know what you're doing and you don't know how to do your paperwork. Because that's not sui juris. You're not perfectly capable of handling your administrative duties. Now, I get if there's some sort of disability, your fingers, whatever. That's different, right?
What?
But
did he just say disability? Your fingers?
We're responsible for our own administrative duties here.
Oh man!
And remember, the court of record is actually your documents. That what we call that magistrate, the judge up there, magistrate, is supposed to be amenable to the people.
Okay.
And not only that, they're a disinterested third party, not having a financial or otherwise equitable interest or any kind of interest in the matter before the court. They're supposed to be a referee calling balls and strikes. But see, why would you have to go to court to do your paperwork? Your paperwork is between the two parties, or the parties to the matter, right?
Okay.
And you're supposed to play that game of tennis, and you serve the ball over to the other side in the court, in their court. And they have to respond.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you're the plaintiff, you got to do the summons and the complaint, right? And then, boom, the other side has to do what? Respond. If they fail to respond, that's a default judgment. right? Now, let's say you're the defendant and you get the summons and the complaint and you read it. This seems a little off. This doesn't look like it's proper. I'm going to go ahead and object to this. And I'm going to appear specially, not generally. Okay? And you're going to object to the personal jurisdiction and the subject matter jurisdiction because there's no contract. I mean, that's how that's supposed to work in a civilized society. That's them administrative duties. And you have to afford them 21 days to respond, and then you can move for default judgment. Because if there's no objection to your motion to dismiss, there's no response. The ball doesn't come back to your court. So you get to serve up again. So the next thing you serve is a motion for default judgment, a proposed order, because you have the right to demand your relief, because that's part of the rules of the common law. And it really is that simple, folks. It really is. You can pretty much beat any case out there with those 4 or 5 documents, 6 documents.
See, those kind of claims are not good, because the thing is that he himself has not been able to beat any of this shit for people in his own circle. Like, but he's telling other people, hey, you can beat any case. I just can't beat any cases where I said I was going to for other people, but you can. Like, but now remember, Field McConnell is different. Kirk did not fail there. It turns out he's actually a 9/11 whistleblower. We've been informed tonight, and is in protection after being arrested for the crimes he committed online in front of a lot of people.
Especially if you're the defendant. It's pretty simple.
Stephanie, I'm a MekoHaze on Facebook. MEKOHAZE. There's a page and a profile, but if you go to my profile, I'm in Facebook jail, but I can still message. Feel free to go find me on Facebook. Any of you guys, T-Patriot, you're welcome to too, buddy. Truth is. MEKOHAZE. And yeah, if you shoot me a message on there, I'll keep an eye out on my other folder, and you can send me whatever.
None of this personally applies. You don't have any subject matter jurisdiction.
No, this was, I just haven't refreshed my screen. This was from when he went live earlier, CJ. So I believe his live is almost over. Well, my replay of it. But like, because YouTube takes a minute to get a live stream up after it ends, that's why I just didn't refresh the screen. That's why it looks like it still says that he's live. I just didn't refresh in case that confused anybody.
Because where's the contract? And you're acting under color of authority and color of law. Well, that personally doesn't apply to me here. Sorry. Down the road you go. That's fraud. So, motion to dismiss and properly serve it. Wait for the timeline to run out, because they're not going to respond. They can't prove that they're not acting under color of authority. They can't prove that they're not acting under color of law. And they can't put anything in writing in response, because... Anybody? Because it's all shit made up, color of law. But they still do the pleadings and practice of the rules of the common law. Make no mistake.
Hey man, that's one thing I've been saying that since like the beginning of this shit. Like Neely, man, she didn't come in. I think they did prey on Neely. I think Neely already had issues though. She did not come into this as some sort of innocent angel. Like that girl has a history. So no, that's one thing. I'm not team, oh my God, that poor woman, all the all the way, but I do think they took advantage of her because she was desperate. She wasn't thinking clearly. She obviously wasn't as educated as she needed to be in these fields. So, I mean, she was a good victim for them, but I wouldn't go as far as I wouldn't go as far as like she had a great background. Oh no, truth is, I'm telling you, no. And Stephanie, yes, it is Meko, Meko. Truth is, no, I won't. I do my best to not block people, no matter what they say. Like that goes from anything, different opinions to the fucking couch sale kiddos. I really don't care much. I mean, for the most part, just don't be like a completely hateful prick. Like, we can argue all day. I don't got no problem with none of y'all. Truth is, Team Patriot, I think everything you're saying is bullshit, but I don't hate you or nothing like that. You know, I had fun with you guys in the comments. I like disagreeing with people. Shit would be boring if we all agreed. And it's good to see different opinions and different outlooks. And I know that the feeling's mutual. You guys think that I'm full of shit, and that's okay. We can think each other are full of shit. Like, that's something that needs to happen more often. It's okay to think that the person you're debating with is full of shit. That's why you're debating them. You think that person is wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that shit is more than fine on my channel. We can even throw, the light insults and shit. We can shit talk with each other and shit. That doesn't bother me or nothing. Like, yeah, the comment section's pretty safe.
That's how they do that. They've just overlaid their color of law, the code, and they're using the pleadings of the common law. All them documents, those come from the common law.
Oh, the panda eyes. Yes, it is. Man, and I actually don't like the guy that brought it up. Fuck. Who showed me that? Yo, Facebook kiddos. I know we ignored you for a minute. Is anybody still on there that knows the, who was it that somebody did a really good debunk of the panda eyes? I don't know if any of my Facebook kiddos that know that are on still, since we kind of ignored them for a while. But yeah, I'll let that play for a minute. If not, I'll try and find that for like a future thing. Like, there's some of these conspiracy things that I do want to keep just kind of on hand so I can reference them quick. So I'll, at some point, if my Facebook kiddos that remember that are gone, I will try and bring that up later.
Right. Yeah, those formal complaints there.
But also, yes, it's like some sort of brain cancer. The original picture that was going around saying that it was panda eyes from sexual abuse. The picture they were using, it was like a kid that had just got out of surgery for brain cancer or some shit like that. You're pretty on spot with what you just said. I don't remember the exact specifics, but yeah, we have showed that before on one of these lives. I forget who fucking showed me it.
Those are for public servants. Any part of government. Because they're the only ones that are bound by public law. Now, if you got a violation of private right or private wrong, well, that would be civil. That's a tort claim. Now, they could be violating your rights as a public servant.
That is another thing, though, like with what you guys are talking about over there on the YouTube side, that Kim, you go back to the skinny mustache. Actually, I do need to trim it up, though. I was thinking that the other day. I don't like my coffee getting in it. Shit, Kim, you just threw me off. Oh, the making up stories. No, we've actually talked about that before on lives, too. Like, the whole fact of making up some of these stories to cover up some of their own like cravings and stuff. Like some of the stuff that Timothy Holmes sits there and makes up. It's so detailed, and it's disturbing how detailed it is, especially because of how fake it is. So you're basically talking about this guy like sitting in his car, because if nobody's seen Timothy Homeseth videos before, he's always in his fucking car, like stealing McDonald's Wi-Fi or doing whatever the fuck he's doing. But he's like always sitting in his car doing these live streams, even though he works for the president and all this shit. Because why would the president and the government and the Pentagon pedophile task force, why would they give him anything that he actually needs aside from a cell phone and a car? But if you really think about it, he's like just sitting there in his car making up these very complex, disturbing stories about kids like being raped in these underground tunnels and being operated on and shit like that. That's not normal. That's not normal for somebody to sit there and fantasize and create those sort of fictional worlds. And that's what he's done at points. Because again, like Jessica Prim, the woman that drove across the country with the knives to kill Mike Pence and show that the USNS was full of kids, USNS Mercy, she was going off of the conspiracy that it originated from Timothy Holmes with the 20,000, 30,000, whatever he said, 60,000 at one point, I think it was, of kids being pulled out of tunnels. So that part actually is disturbing if you really stop and think that these like really elaborate pedophile conspiracies, like somebody's sitting down and actually making that stuff up in their head. So it's, I don't know, that has, yeah. And actually Kim, that's correct. Timothy was banned from social media, it looks like. Okay, but T-Patriot, okay. Field was always a whistleblower and used as bait. They set up Picasso as she and her husband are kidnapping babies and selling them through Ukraine. Okay, do you have one piece of evidence? Because we're talking, Timothy Homeseth has been calling out Kim Picasso for what? It's like a decade now. I actually, in all actuality, I mean, this is Timothy's book right here. This was, which is actually, it was sent to my ex, but it's still here. I wonder if it has a date. It actually has a date. But yeah, we're talking about like a decade. Because what, at least one of the dates on the book cover is April 19th, 2010. So we're talking about a decade of Timothy Homeseth making these claims against Kim Picasso. But so, I mean, can you guys not show me one piece of evidence showing Kim, like a receipt, anything? What's she doing? Is she shipping them like with freight? Is she using harbors? Is she using planes? I mean, do you guys not have one piece of physical evidence in 10 years that Kim Picasso is selling babies to Ukraine? Like, because if that's the case, and if Tim Homeseth is such a great investigator, how in the fuck has he not found that piece of evidence in a fucking decade? And yeah, that is another thing. I talked to the Department of Homeland Security, and they said there's no Pentagon pedophile task force. So, like, there's gotta be, I mean, is there anything you can show? Like just one piece of physical documentation that shows that this woman is actually trafficking children and not just being harassed by a delusional wannabe investigator. Which, that's another good point. Why would he be on the run if he is truly working for the Pentagon? Well, when I actually spoke to DHS about it, their first main confusion with it was that they were like, we wouldn't handle that. Like, why would the Pentagon have a pedophile task force? That was their first confusion overall. And then I think, I think I can actually pull up their email response. Let's see. Where do I have that? Yeah, because this Pentagon pedophile task force thing went on for so long that I did go ahead and reach out to the Pentagon, to DHS. Okay, here, let me go ahead and let him keep on playing.
But that's where Title 241 and 242 come in, right? Deprivation is a right while acting under color of authority, and 242, color of law. That's criminal. That's felony. That's serious prison time. And then you can say,
Okay, yeah. This is actually the response I got from Uriah L. Orland, Lieutenant Colonel of USAF. You can attribute the following to me as a DoD spokesman. There's not a Pentagon pedophile task force. The only child rescue service that we are aware of is the Human Exploitation Rescue Operative HERO Child Rescue Corps, which is a program developed by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, and DOD's U.S. Special Operations Command, USSO, COM, in conjunction with the National Association to Protect Children. So that was like the official government response, and I got passed around to like 3 different areas before, and all of them were just as equally confused until they finally figured out somebody to give me a comment on like who actually wanted to say, no, that doesn't fucking exist. So.
well, let's see, I got arrested. Well, that's kidnapping. Kidnapping is a capital offense, by the way.
This is true.
So, I vow to carry the torch for Chris. I'm not going to claim that I'm as knowledgeable as he is on loss
Ooh,
prevention.
Karen, dropping the big shit. You know, that's one thing, actually, whenever people are talking about, like, the sex trafficking thing. Karen, I'm really glad that you said that comment. What about a task force on missing and murdered American Indians and Alaska Natives? When, like, with all this Save the Children shit and all this human trafficking, sex trafficking shit, a lot of people don't realize that indigenous women and indigenous children are some of the biggest victims of trafficking situations. They're just literally left in the dark. But that also goes back to, like, I mean, any chance I get, I'll also spit out about Pine Ridge and shit like that. Some of these reservations that are completely shit on, and the people, I mean, like Pine Ridge, you're talking about the second lowest life expectancy rate in the Western Hemisphere, just underneath Haiti. So, yeah, man, the indigenous, like, good on you, Karen. That's legit as fuck. I wish there was more being done about the indigenous women, indigenous children that are missing. It, it's there needs to be something more done about it, and that's not just here either. In Canada, if you if you look into the Canadian missing indigenous women and children, like holy shit, dude, that's some serious stuff. Um, oh, was it on July 3rd? I January 31st. I really haven't, and actually January I was still taking care of my grandma with dementia at the time. So I missed a lot of stuff from like what was that, like November to March. Oh, my life might have dropped. Oh, it's trying to fix it. Oh, I don't know if it could fix it. Wait, so you guys, can you guys still see me right now then? Wait, so you guys, can you guys still see me? Huh. Right now? That's weird. Okay, so okay. We'll just try and wrap this up. I don't know what just happened on Restream. Like, okay, because I use one software to like create all the green screen stuff that you guys are seeing. I use vMix, and that goes through Restream to go out to the different social medias, Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. For some reason, my Restream is glitching out and says I'm offline. So that's what that was just there. But no, on the missing indigenous, I actually didn't know that because I was taking care of my grandma, like full time living with her from like November to March when she passed away. And she had full blown dementia. So I really was not on top of a lot of shit for those months. But I am, that's cool to hear though. I actually didn't know that, Karen. So that's actually, that's information that I like to hear. So yeah, I missed a lot this year. Like, and then following that, I just haven't been on my game. But I'm trying to get back on top of my game. But no, that's cool to hear. That's especially cool to hear under the Trump administration and shit like that. Yeah, the hand disappears because that's just my camera frame. Like this is green screen. So yeah, I can totally go over there and just disappear. Um, Everything you're hearing or seeing here is all green screened up. So yeah, but yeah. So if it gets disconnected, just in case, thank you guys for watching and all that good shit. There's some links in the description. You can. What do I have up there? I think. I think I have. I think it's a link to the Neely article about the kidnapping back in March. So just in case like this does drop, because I have no clue what's going on with Restream right now, it still says I'm offline. Um, if it drops, thank you guys for watching. You can go read that stuff there. There's a live earlier today on this Neely Chris Hallett situation. And so we'll just get that out of the way in case anything drops. And thank you guys for watching and all that good shit. Even the people that we were arguing with over in the YouTube comments, it was a good time. It really was. I have no offense with it or anything. Feel free to come back and argue anytime that you want.
But at this particular point in time, I don't think I need to be. I think there's plenty of other people out there that can figure this out when we file our paperwork. that what they're doing is unlawful. Right? We cannot pay these people to trespass the law. An emolument, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8. Any advantage, profit, or gain received due to one's position of employment or of holding of office. You guys out there using your position of employment to human traffic the people under bills of attainder, bills of pains and penalty, which is led.
She said that Neely turned herself in Georgia because she was scared of turning herself in Florida. Kim, to your question, if she said anything about the she said that she went to Georgia to turn herself in because Chris and Kirk were involved in bad things like trafficking, and so she went to Georgia to turn herself in.
Legislation.
Oh, y'all dropping some UCC over there? Y'all dropping that UCC? That's what's going on? Kim, it's still alleged right now because obviously investigation and everything. But as of right now, everything does look like she turned herself in with this situation. So, I mean, yeah. But obviously, like, we'll wait till court and everything to go all the way through. And yeah, no, I know about that UCC. Shit, I bet you don't even know some of the origins of where the sovereign beliefs that you're in on. I bet you don't even know where that came from. Like, did you know that shit started as a racist group back in the 70s? And it's mainly based off a misunderstanding of the 14th Amendment. That's a lot of where, like, your UCC and shit like that comes from with the sovereign kiddos. But that's a whole nother story. Let's finish this damn video. You guys keep on distracting me over those YouTube comments. I ain't opening up that damn chat no more. Fuck y'all.
It prescribes a punishment like speeding, driving without privileges, and bills of attainder, bills of pains and penalties. You've been attained to pay this bill. Yeah, where's the corpus delicti? You say it's criminal in nature, right? Where's my accuser? I have the right to face my accuser and the witnesses. And witnesses have to have first-hand knowledge. And you can't be an officer of government, because that's a conflict of interest, and it violates the basic Magna Carta due process that Attorney General Barr referenced. Right? Magna Carta 1215. Section 39, maybe?
That's sovereign shit. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, a cracked tail light. I don't recall that being murder, rape, kidnapping, assault or battery or breach of the peace. Oh, well, it's an infraction. Okay, an infraction would be an infraction of like a contract, which would be administrative, not criminal, and not civil. It would be them Nisi Prius courts. Except for you're dragging us through these kangaroo courts, the ones that are about ready to be abolished. Mark my words. Been saying it for quite some time.
And it hasn't happened.
We need to go back to our common law courts, the people's courts. That's what's missing. I truly believe that's what's coming back.
UCC goes.
We're going to have the people's courts back. It is what it is.
Damn, Mark, he's super deep in this
Maybe
shit,
I shouldn't
huh?
say that anymore. But the fact is, that's the fact of law.
Oh, here. Yeah, I'll check that, Stephanie.
Kind of have to know the law. Kind of. Gonna have to know how to effectively, right? Defend ourselves. Claim, exercise, and defend.
Yep, that's the right one. I just put yep back to you.
So,
I'd friend request you and shit, but I'm in Facebook jail for like 11 more days after uh, pissing off some of the Kansas Republican Party, we think. So I'm still in Facebook jail, but I can still message from that account.
I provided the executive order from November 2nd of what Trump's plan is for the Trump administration. Clearly, we're going back to...
With Neely, with that question, we actually looked this up earlier. Oh, and actually, you know, I haven't looked it up since having an exact address. So, where's Chris? It's like, or here, let's just go Marion County, Florida to... Okay, so where she went was 2 hours away. The shooting happened at 9 o'clock last night, and that was in Marion County, Florida. And then she was picked up in Lowndes, Georgia. So that's a 2 hour and 10-minute drive. So I wouldn't go as far as that is necessarily proof that it was like pre-planned, premeditated, first degree sort of deal. Being a 2 hour drive, that's a pretty easy flee out of panic. You know, if like that's, and also it's just a straight shot on the highway. Like, I don't know if that looks like a planned route. I mean, possibly, because, you know, her mom did say that she was scared to turn herself into Florida and she wanted to turn herself into Georgia because Chris and Kirk were involved in all this bad shit. And if you'll notice, I mean, that is the rest. I mean, at least in Neely's head, I'm not saying that that's true, but, you know, that does match up there, because she like literally drove right across the border to Georgia and turned herself in. I didn't realize where Lowndes County was earlier today when we were looking at we just had a general idea of areas, and it was like a 4 hour drive. But so yeah, I don't know that that's necessarily premeditated, just because it was a 2 hour straight shot up I-75 pretty much. So I don't know.
1776, folks. Like Trump said when he was over there in England. We're going...
Well, she got there. Okay, so that timeline's still kind of missing, and when I talked to Marion County today, they obviously had not talked to God, I've been online too long today. They obviously hadn't talked to Neely yet, so I don't think the guy that I talked to did not have all the specific details. He just confirmed names and shit like that. But oh, damn it, can we not see the times anymore? Or okay, no, November 16th. Fuck, what was that earlier? Earlier, the two tweets, there was like, I think it was like a 14-hour time difference. So they made the initial report of the shooting, and then like 14 hours later, they did an update saying that detectives had made contact with everyone involved. So somewhere in that like 14-hour time period, at least between public updates, was when Neely turned herself in. So with it being a 2 hour drive, you know, I don't know. I don't know if she hung around at the scene. I don't think they know that yet or anything like that. But yeah, it was a 2 hour drive. So I don't know. I don't think that the drive is enough to be premeditated. But I don't know, because like one thing is that she's not the most rational person. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was just a spur of the moment or pre-thought. We won't know that. I imagine. I don't know. She should, especially with that being 2 hours. I would imagine she'll be extradited before the end of the week. There may be an update before the end of the week, and prosecutors may decide on the charges and shit as early as I'd say probably beginning of next week. I don't know that she would be extradited, interrogated, and prosecutors decide on their final charge by the end of the week. I would maybe lean more towards like beginning to mid of next week that we'll hear like her actual charges and shit.
Back to natural law, and we're getting rid of both constitutions.
No, we're not.
I'm not quite sure which two he's talking about. I'm aware of three.
No, you're not.
1787, 1871, and over the 1,000-page secret constitution that they actually go by. So, please pray for Chris and his family. I'm pretty sure his family's pretty distraught right now. We lost a good man, a brilliant man. Society as a whole, we are going to miss Chris Hallett. That's right. Back to the Bible. We are a Christian nation. It is the law of the nation called America.
Wasn't religious persecution a big
Go
part
watch
of...
episode 1 in my educational series.
I could have swore
Watch 'em all.
religious persecution was a big part of the
Highly
founding.
recommend you do.
But whatever.
Both on Facebook and YouTube, and looking into going on to Parler. And of course, don't forget my Patreon. And I'll go ahead and put that other part up here. If you want to help support the channel here, right? We greatly appreciate it. And I know Tony Pellegrino said that he might come on here, try and be on here with me as a co-host. But I've done this before alone, right? But I'm not alone. I have all you folks. And I'm sorry that I'm not really paying attention to the comments tonight. I mean, kinda. Briefly-ish. But I'm here. And I'm not giving up.
Yeah, fuck Kirk. Fuck Kirk all around. Chloe, when you put it like that, yeah. Is he making a pitch to fill the recently deceased spot? It certainly sounded like that. So yeah, overall, that was a very weird response to what happened last night. Fucking weird response to what happened last night. So it's weird all around. I don't like that he's still pushing these conspiracies and shit, talking about the deep state and shit with like this man. I don't know. But I do know that I see you guys are still super active on YouTube, and I got a husky that probably wants to go potty because this ended up being a 3-hour live, which these always end up going way longer than they should. This is one of the reasons why I want to do some just like pre-recorded videos on subjects, because we get carried away into other shit. So I think what I'm going to do, we'll go ahead and end this here. I appreciate everybody watching and everything. I was already, Neely's one of the cases that I was watching in the background, and like waiting for her court and shit like that. I didn't really expect this update. But that's one of the people like Arlena Willis, and like anything big happens with Cynthia Absig, anything like that. I am going to try and keep lookout for those. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. So I appreciate you guys for watching and everything. Links in the description, like I explained earlier. Kim Bacasio is on tape. It has gone public. Is that when Kirk like bum-brushed her talking shit or whatever? Like, feel free to drop her on video. Like, what? She's on video, what? She's on video trafficking kids to the Ukraine. No, actually, no. Come, you can come back anytime you want, T Patriot, and in like 12 weeks you can come argue on my. You can argue on my Facebook with me when I'm out of Facebook jail. But no, I'm gonna go let my dog out before we get back into another one of these things with like Field McConnell being the whistle. Like we'll do this another time, maybe, TP Patriot. Next time we cross each other online, we can do this again. But yeah, you guys be good. I appreciate you guys watching, and we are gonna actually be more active this time. So you guys have a good night, and hopefully I'm gonna go with maybe beginning to mid next week, we'll actually know charges on Neely, and we'll see where prosecution's looking there. First degree normally takes pretty hardcore amount of evidence. They really got to show that premeditated, or else they're going to lose the entire case. So I don't know if they go first degree. She's probably in some trouble, but I don't know. I don't know if it sounds like a first degree situation, but I don't know. There's still too many details missing. But you guys be good. We'll hopefully know what happens sooner than later, what happens with her charges and whatnot, and that should kind of give a little bit more detail of what exactly transpired last night. So y'all be good. Good night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever it is, and I'll see y'all again.